What is going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 84. I'm just looking at a logo right now. I don't know why, but here we are. There it is. Are you guys still muted? You're muted again,
No,
Joel?
I know. I was
No, I think
doing
I'm
something
good.
else.
Thank you
You're
so
unmuted.
Thank you so
That was
much.
the worst intro ever.
I know the song even got like a second cut off in the beginning too. It was pretty sick, dude.
Okay, killing it.
What up, y'all? We're here again. Cali Death Podcast, episode 84. Yeah. We're here with the resident, two of the three resident homies again. Joseph is out jamming right now, getting ready for some ominous ruin gigs, and that's just as important, if not more important, right now. So he needs to get going on that, and there he is. So we'll have him back as soon as he's ready to come back. We love him and we miss him. What up to Joel and Casey? What's going on, brothers? And today we are honored and blessed with the presence of Nicole Papastavrou. Did I say it?
You got it right.
All right. Fuck, I said it like
Papastavrou.
17 times in my head.
I know. He's like, "You gotta get this
and then
right."
it came up, and then I was like reading. Okay, I got it. And it really is like once you said that pronunciation, like once you read it, it actually is just pronounced pretty much the way you read it.
Pretty much.
But
I think
it's
most
just-
people just don't read it all the way.
It's an intimidating thing, It's like Christina Pajitsky. Like nobody can say Pajitsky, so they just call her Christina P.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah, I get the Nicole P thing a lot.
There you go. It's much
Used to it.
easier. But thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. This is something that I've been excited for a while because you're a fucking shredder.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been stoked to be on the show too. Thanks so much.
Hell
for
yeah.
having
And
me.
we've seen you in the chat every now and then too. So it's like, yeah, it's always cool to like cross the wires of the Twitch fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's what we need to do. And since we're newer than you guys, like we're kind of riding your coattails a little bit. Oh, what up, Casey?
What up, Casey? How's it going, dude?
Sorry.
What are your thoughts on this, Casey?
I wanted to jump in there. No, I'm just kidding.
Go for it.
The cool thing about Nicole, I mean, the funny thing that our inside joke is like when I was first starting this out, I think I have like a 50% success rate on trying to rate her.
Yes, I remember. We were trying to help you.
I do remember that, dude. And I remember there was even one time she was just laughing the shit out because you couldn't pull it off, dude.
I remember I went in her chat and I was like, "Did I raid you?" You're like, "No, you didn't." And I was like, "Fuck."
Well, you want to laugh? The first time I tried to raid, I forgot to like put the underscore in Justin's name, and then I just raided like a dead channel.
Oh, it
So
was an
whoever
actual channel, though?
owns like the Justin McKinney channel, like I just raided and it was just a dead channel. So we did like everyone still went to Justin's channel and we're like fake raid.
They knew where to go. Yeah,
yeah, we're like fake raid
or manual raid. It's a manual raid.
Right?
I've had people say that in the
mouth.
comments. People were like, "I'll just do it myself." in the comments, just like, "I'll just go myself." I think Troy said that. Troy Fullerton was like, "I'll just do it myself."
We know where to go.
I'll just catch a ride, dude. I'll call an Uber, dude. It's fine, dude.
Yeah.
I'll meet you guys there, dude.
Oh man, that's so good.
Well,
But yeah, super stoked to
Nicole.
finally get you on.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was gonna say real quick, because we just have to address it. You're the third female that's been on the show. We've been into this is 84, so this is super cool because as a dad of a daughter, I love the recent examples of like strong womanhood that I've been finding in the metal community, and you're a very great example of that. I can't wait to show you to my daughter, so it'll inspire her maybe, or if it doesn't, it's just to show her that not only can women run with the boys, we got some examples here that, especially you, that can run circles around these boys too. So
yeah,
I try.
Yeah.
The expectations are much higher and you're constantly under a microscope for it, so that does help.
One of the inside jokes I was gonna, I mean, not inside jokes, but with myself and maybe Cheney, but it was like I was gonna ask like, what's it like being a girl in the metal scene? Because I'm sure like she's like, fuck, I've been asked that like 350 million times, and I was like, so it's like the most common question, but I mean it is a question that everyone
that we all want to hear. Yeah,
I mean because it's like so male dominated, our whole time. The inside joke about even going to metal shows, it's like all dudes, and then they're a couple girlfriends or something like that, and we're seeing that kind of flip, and we're seeing like a lot more females there like on their own, like fuck yeah, let's like they're into metal on their, they're not just being dragged or something to a guy screaming and barking on stage. They're like into it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like tables are turning and the tides are turning. So it's fucking awesome.
But not just that, not just being in the crowd. Like obviously Nicole
on stage too.
Yeah, she's showing everybody up on stage as well.
Totally.
So, yeah, I thank you so much again. I say thank you probably 1,000 times in all my intros, but it is true. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure. And I'm down to answer that question too. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like now it's more common, like you guys were saying. But when I first started touring, when I was like 18, so that was like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. I kind of just got used to like getting asked whenever we showed up at the venue, like, oh yeah, merch is over there, or like, or they're like, are you like somebody's girlfriend or something? And like I used to get like super offended, but I was also like kind of younger then and just like more like rude. And I'm like, no, like I'm the guitar player. This is my band. Like, I wrote everything. I started this fucking band.
I was just saying. As you should.
No, like I wasn't that bad, but like after a while, I was just like, I just be like, okay, thank you. Like when they tell me where like the merch is to set up, and then I would just do my thing, go set up on stage, and then like afterwards, I'd get the whole like, oh, I'm sorry, like. Really good for a girl.
Is like, during that, like you get up on stage and then you do your thing and then you get back off and then you walk up to that dude and be like, wait, where's the merch table again?
Oh yeah. No, I think I was a little more shy back then,
There's something redeeming about that. I remember like I've probably even told the story before, but I remember like we played a show at the Pound once and the Hells Angels were running it and they were so fucking like rude to me and like just screaming on where my stuff was supposed to go, and they were just like kind of like laughing and like having fun. And then after we got off stage, they were like, well, "Fucking love your band!" Like, and they just like carried all of our stuff off for us. Like, here you go. Where do you want it? Like, that was awesome, man. I was like,
right.
I was like,
man, I remember the Pound.
Yeah.
I think the last show I went there was Strapping Young Lad.
Damn.
When Devin still had his skullet.
Right.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Well, that's so cool.
That was the first memory that came out of the Pound. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that.
Well, that's a good segue because like I want to know where you grew up. I want to know your origin story. If you've watched this show before, that's how we like to start it. So take us back, Nicole. Take us back to your childhood. What music caught your ear, deeper than other music and all that stuff, and then what led to you wanting to play an instrument?
Wow, well that goes like way back then, right?
Yeah, we want way back.
Yeah, I guess everything kind of started when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and my parents wanted to send me to music lessons.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in LA, like in actually Palos Verdes area.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to send me to get lessons for something, and they're like, oh, you just have to pick like what instrument you want to play. And I think I was trying to decide between like keyboard and guitar, and I didn't really find my niche in like music yet. I was just kind of listening to like K-rock and was just super into like the grunge thing. Like I hadn't really discovered like metal yet.
Yeah,
I was super into like Pearl Jam and like Alice in Chains and stuff like that, Nirvana. That was like what I thought was heavy, when I was a kid.
Totally.
Because that's all that was like fed to me, really, like through the radio. I didn't have anyone in my family that was like musical or that like showed me anything. But my dad, I remember, ironically enough, he used to bring home. This makes me feel really old, but laser discs.
Nice.
He used to bring home laser discs of live performances by Garth Brooks.
Wow.
And so that's what I was like kind of seeing like at home. Like he was just playing his acoustic guitar on stage, and in one of the videos he took his guitar and smashed it on stage, and that just like clicked something like inside me where I was like, that's so hardcore. Like, I want to play guitar because I want to smash a guitar on
Right.
stage.
How hilarious would it be if that was like at the end of I've Got Friends?
Yeah.
I don't remember what.
Pieces.
And I never really like listened to him or country to like remember like what the songs were or anything like that. It was just like an image I remember seeing that made me decide that I wanted to play guitar because I thought that was like a badass thing to do.
Totally.
I'm like, that probably wouldn't be as cool if you smashed like a keyboard on stage.
Nah.
Yeah.
Maybe a keyboard, one of those keyboard guitars. What are those called?
Like guitars?
Guitar.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, they're pretty wild too. But.
I got down with Garth, dude. I was when I was growing up, man. Like my mom was really into Garth, and I watched. We didn't have Laserdisc. That's like next level, but we definitely watched those
DVD,
concerts.
dude. It should have been Laserdisc until fucking Blu-rays.
I remember a concert like the drummer comes up on this like spaceship drum set, dude, and it's like crazy sick. Yeah, dude.
Spaceship drums. It like took off and
I don't know, man.
Like a rocket.
I can't remember. I have to like check, like I don't know. Look it up, man. I have to check it out on YouTube or something, dude.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
Kind of like my like unassuming story of like why I chose to play guitar, and from there, like I got lessons and really just like learned how to like read tabs from my instructor, and he taught me like a bunch of like Pearl Jam songs and Jimi Hendrix, and then I think I discovered Metallica after that, and I'm like, oh, this is like a little bit heavier than all of that. And then I went to school, and I think like my first year of high school is when I started meeting other people that played guitar, because I was always like the only one. Like I never met anyone that had like played guitar in school. And I started meeting like a couple guys, and they were like kind of burning like CDs for me, like, oh, you should check this out. Like someone burned me a CD and it just said Zakky Wild on it.
Nice.
And I'm like, who's this? Like, who's Zakky Wild? And it was a Black Label Society CD. And when I heard that, I was like, I just had no idea that like guitar tone could be that heavy.
Right.
So that was another like clicking point for me, where I was just like, whoa, like this is kind of taking it like a step up from like Metallica, and like it's just heavier. There's just heavier riffs. Right. And then I think like someone burned me like a die-cast CD too.
Nice. I was down with die-cast. That first record's dope.
Yeah, so it was like the same thing, just like hearing these like heavier riffs and stuff, and then like slowly discovering like other bands. And I used to have these like competitions with like the guys in school where we would try to like figure out albums by ear and see how far like we were getting.
Challenge yourself with. That's a really good thing.
Yeah, and Justice for All was one of those albums that we weren't allowed to like look at tabs or anything. We had to just sit there and finish by ear, and then like tell each other like, I finished track 4, I finished track 5, like So yeah, that's kind of like where.
So that's teenage. So that's teenage years. That's high school when you're doing that.
That was like early teenage years, and then I moved up to NorCal, and I think that's where I really kind of like set my roots and started actually like going to shows and like playing in bands and like meeting people. And
were you in the Bay?
I was in Elk Grove, which is like Sacramento area, but all my friends lived in the Bay, and like I had joined the first band that I joined. They were all from like Antioch area and like Martinez. So I was commuting there on Amtrak like every week, and my mom was kind enough to like buy me Amtrak tickets to go to band practice until like I, got my driver's license and like started driving and going out there. So like I really like didn't have like too many friends in Sacramento because I was in the Bay Area all the time. So I was going to like a lot of like Bay Area shows, like at Gilman and the Pound and everything.
So what was your first, can you remember your first Pound gig?
I think actually it was like Bleeding Through or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I went through like a little like metalcore phase before I discovered death metal. And I was like, oh, this is way better.
Progression, like with us it was new metal in high school, and then after that like metalcore, it started just getting heavy. Well, then death metal and all that was like Joel always says that he wasn't really ready for it. I wasn't really ready for it. It kind of came kind of early, but like yeah, I'd say that metalcore from new metal moving forward is a natural progression.
Mm-hmm.
Except
yeah, I think like the
Yeah,
first.
except Casey wasn't like that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
He went grunge origin.
No, you went
right
punk.
after.
You went punk. You know, you
I
went punk.
guess you could say. I mean, I guess I went from like Tool and Rush to death metal, which is kind of a jump, but I just kind of leaped from Tool straight to Cannibal Corpse.
You had a punk phase though too, right? I feel like
yeah,
when people go like new metal or punk, it's like kind of like depending
yeah.
on the, you know, I see people use either one of those in our age group.
I mean, I always loved thrash. Like I was always like, fuck yeah, Metallica and Megadeth. And by the way, that thrash documentary I was watching it last night, it's super sick.
Oh, sweet.
Which one?
All these, I don't even know what it's called. I have to look. It's like the thrash years or something. Or the
okay.
It's like some. It's on Amazon. I was watching the Randy Rhoads one, and then this was another one I was watching. But damn, dude, it's so sick. It's like Jesus, dude, that shit's so good. Like
which one is it?
I'll find it real fast, dude.
Pull it up.
It's so good.
It's cool because you're talking about like you were in Elk Grove and stuff, and I've brought it up a lot too when I lived in Sacramento for about 4 or 5 years. Actually until 2019 I was there, and just seeing that, you know, that scene was like flourishing now compared to the Pound Bay Area days. It's kind of like flipped kind of a little bit. What was it called?
Get Thrashed.
Get Thrashed.
I have heard of that. Yeah, I haven't seen
the story of thrash metal.
Totally.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely check it.
Yeah,
Just seeing that flip of the Bay, like, because the Bay is becoming, you know, like a lot of places in this area, you know, it's like way too expensive to live, so people are kind of bailing, and they've gone up north. You know, they've gone to like Sacramento and stuff, and there's just venues popping up all over the place there, and like, you know, like Gabe Sieber's scene and all that shit. Like that shit's like, people will just randomly be no-name bands on a Tuesday, and they'll be like sold out. You know,
you gotta and I'm not trying to go too far into this, but I was just realizing this, dude. Sacramento is a great place, great alternative place than the Bay when you're on tour, because your drive from Sacramento to LA is the same as San Francisco. So now they don't have any other more driving to do, but it's just now they're going a little more Central California to get to Sacramento, and
you'll
then
see,
back down.
You'll see like how well Santa Cruz shows do when they skip Sacramento and they don't do the Bay or something. Like Santa Cruz shows will be sold out because they're all the Sacramento people, and everyone just come down because they're like, beach and
the
stuff.
Only one.
Yeah, I remember a lot of the tours would go through the boardwalk in Orangeville.
Yep, we played there a bunch.
That's, I remember, like I was going to a lot of shows there. And then West Coast Worldwide was kind of like my hometown venue.
Where was that?
Never heard that name.
So it's a very small venue that was downtown Sacramento. Okay. And I mean, they had metal shows there too, but it was like predominantly like hardcore shows.
Okay.
And it was just, kind of like a death trap. Like a lot of people would be afraid to go there because there's just nowhere to like get away from the pit.
Oh, okay.
And it was like really small, just like a brick building with like a stage that was made out of like plywood.
Yeah.
So really like
crowd killing and shit.
Oh yeah. That was also me when I was like 16. I was definitely chipped like all my teeth in that venue. So.
Jesus.
I was wild.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Pit Shark. Shout out Pit Shark real quick.
Who?
Pit Shark 666. Her name's Liberty. She will fuck you up.
God.
Oh my God.
She will literally fuck your shit sideways in the pit, dude.
And she
loves it.
She's not tall, but she's like stout, and she just
She'll
like
get underneath you. You don't even know.
Yeah, and she's just going the whole time, just like, and just constantly. Yeah, that's what she's known for. It's brutal.
Yeah, I tried like take advantage because I'm like, oh, I'm like small and light. I can just jump on anybody that I want, you know?
Right. Yeah, totally.
So I played that game.
I mean, I see Justin, that show that we hung out at in Berkeley, Zenith Bastard was playing, and there was like this, we were just hanging out, like a group of us were just hanging out, like 3 people deep from the pit. We're like, we're old now. We don't want to, even though like I thought about it a little bit. I'm like, I still have that, like, I should go in. No, I'm not going to do it. I should go, I was going back and forth. And before I knew it, I was on my ass with my beer in my like going like on my face. And there was 7 or 8 people that got it was like a bowling ball thing of like 3 or 4, like 6 foot, like 3 250-pound dudes. And they just took out our section and I was completely midair. I was like hanging out, and I'm just midair and on the ground before I even know what's going on. And I'm just like laughing, but my beer went like upside down on my face, just down my shirt, and I was like, oh God. Yeah, I'm like,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that story is you just told me that on Friday, by the way. But so I had to hear it again right now. But what's the most important part of that story for you to tell is that the beer was poured in your face, not that you broke your tailbone.
I didn't break my tailbone. I just bruised my ass.
I thought you actually like fractured it.
No, that's the Gojira show back.
Separate one. So another beer poured on your face on that night.
Aftershock Festival, but remember that fest over in Sacramento? They have like this humongous, it was like Gojira, Meshuggah, Slayer, Primus, like it was like the Tool, and like all these like huge bands would play. And at the time I was like way into Gojira, and this is like 2017 or 16, and I was like, it was one of those 50,000-60,000 people like festivals, and I was like, I was drinking a lot, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go the opposite way in the pit for this.
Oh my God!
Way too many people, because they're playing the song I want to hear. I got to go in, and I went in. I was doing fine until like I met like a linebacker in the pit, and he just like sent me just like 20 feet back. I don't even know. It was like I was flying through the air and landed on my butt, and I was like, hey, something's like sideways in my ass now, but it's fine. I'm drunk. And
sideways in my ass.
That's the only. I kept telling all my friends, I'm like, something's sideways in my ass, but I don't feel any pain. But it's because the alcohol was kind of like wearing it off. But then I stood up from it, and I was like, whatever, that hurt. And I stood up, and then I caught the drumstick from the song, and I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. So I still have that drumstick.
Dude.
Walk it off. The
next 8 weeks of PT
God.
I literally had to call him sick one time because I was sat down on my computer chair in the morning and I couldn't get up.
Oh,
because there was so much pain. Yeah, I was like, I can't get up. I can't make it to work today.
I bet it hurt to go potty too.
Oh God, I screamed. Anyways,
the donut, the blow up donut.
I think my pitting days are over.
Yes,
I know.
I'm like, I don't want to ruin my dates now.
I know. Yeah. I might just be like one time, be like, all right, for fun, let's all go in or something like that. But that's like for like 2 rounds and I'm done.
Suffo used to be my band that I'd be like, I'm only going to pit for Suffo. And then we just recently saw Suffo and I was like, I'm not pitting. So I'm officially retired now, guys.
Yeah. That's when it's like one of your favorite bands, you're like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're wearing sandals. It's like, got to be careful with your toes too.
I didn't, dude. I actually, it's funny. We met a few fans at the show too, and nobody called me out that I was wearing shoes. But I was like, dude, I can't go to a fucking metal show in sandals. It's like 55 degrees out. When we leave, it'll be 2 o'clock in the morning.
But if you're going to be on stage with sandals, you got to walk the walk and flip the flop.
All right. Walk the walk and flip the flop, dude.
Oh my God.
That statement just made me realize, yes, I made a mistake. I should have been flipping the flop, dude.
Just wear some socks underneath, dude.
And actually, nobody stepped on my feet that night either. So I was like, I could have handled it.
Fine.
No one said you can't wear socks.
I only go the thongs that go in between the toes, dude. That looks weird as shit when you wear sandals with those. I don't have the slip-on ones. You're talking about the slip-on ones where you just slip on the.
Dude, like regular.
You're talking about wearing socks with flip-flops.
Oh, you're saying it looks like karate? Slides. It looks like karate.
What they're
called slides.
Slides.
Yeah, slides.
Because you just slide your feet in.
I don't slide. I do the thong, the flip-flop where it goes in between the big and the middle. That was weird.
You see people walking around like apartment complexes.
Unless they wore green socks, then I'd be like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, that's why they're called thongs.
They are called thongs. Oh yeah, because they're kind of like toes, thongs,
toe thongs. Yeah,
toe thongs.
No, I'm talking about wearing regular white socks. Toe thongs.
I
don't understand. Yeah, dude.
So you gotta you would have to put your sock on not completely tight, so there's
your sock is just like
in
between your toes.
And then if you look at a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle foot, that's what it would look like.
I don't understand. That goes back so far, dude. They've been doing that for thousands of years, dude.
That's like people of Walmart.com.
People of Walmart shit. That is totally. Speaking of people of Walmart, we can. So Garth Brooks was the. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna be wait, we never finished that.
No, we did.
We did.
My dad burned me a laser disc of. Just kidding. But so yeah, you're learning songs by ear and stuff like that, going to shows. So what year is this? Is this still when you're going to the Pound and stuff and you moved to the North Bay? Are you still in high school or are you graduated?
I was in high school. No, I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started
and then
jamming with
after
people out there?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started, I think like the first band that I was in the East Bay, I was 15. And
Jesus.
then that was, the first show that I ever played was at West Coast Worldwide.
Nice.
And then I think like shortly after that, I was in like a few hardcore bands. And then I joined Suffocate after
Oh, wow.
Chris Story left.
To All Shall Perish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the timeline. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when I joined Suffocate. And
did you guys play at the Pound with that lineup? The Suffocate when you were playing with them?
I can't remember if we played the Pound. I know we did like a couple West Coast runs with like All Shall Perish and like Suicide Silence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a blur. Like I do remember like Danville Grange. I remember Jerry's Pizza.
Jerry's Pizza. I do remember that too.
Yeah, the rest, like I can't really. I must have been like Contact High because that van was just always like hot boxed.
Nice.
And I was actually like straight edge back then too.
So if you weren't ready and you were in that van, you'd suffocate.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
There we go.
Yeah. I remember like it was so routine too. Like it would be day of show, like hours before the show, and we're like driving around looking for weed. I'm just like, I don't understand this. Like we need to go to the show, and they're like, we can't go to the show until we get weed. I'm just like, okay.
So I remember that. At that time, you still hadn't partaken in the mother plant?
I hadn't, no. I think the first time I officially did was when I was on tour in Europe, and I was like in Amsterdam, and I'm just like, I'll try this like spliff, but it was like disgusting because it was
because it's like 90% tobacco.
Yeah,
exactly. Roll just a little bit of weed in there, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm getting high." And it's like, I'm just getting nicotined out right now.
Yeah. I didn't really like start smoking weed and like vaping till like way later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and now like I kind of I don't know. It's very random for me now. It's more of like a social thing. Like sometimes like if there's something going around, I'll be like, yeah, sure. But otherwise I'm just like, I haven't, since I moved back to LA from New York, like I haven't really felt like smoking weed anymore. It's kind of crazy.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I used to smoke like way too much when, back in the Decrepit days and stuff. Cause that's kind of like, we go on tour with Cephalic and we were like, who's the biggest stoner band, dude? Like, like fighting with them, like who's the biggest stoner band, to like now where I might hit a joint or something. Like, I don't know, like once every 2 months or something, or maybe I'll be drunk or something at home and a bong will get past me and I'll be like, I'm drunk, so this is a bad idea. Might as well. And but it used to be like a constant, like was like a part of my life constantly. And once I had to quit for just basically getting jobs and stuff. I remember 2009 I finally was like, I can't, like I'm calling in sick because I smoked too much weed, like I just didn't want to go to work. I'm like, I don't want to go, dude. Like, this is stupid. And and once I started doing that, I was like, this is okay. I need to mellow the fuck out. And once I had to do like for a P test for a job, I had to stay sober for like a month long. But I know no one. Well, I know that's they beat us when they were at the border with us. Cephalic was. I probably told the story a million times because I drink alcohol. It's another fucking mind eraser. But we were at waiting in the fucking like holding area, and it's me and Lenzig sitting next to each other, and the fucking the drug dog kept biting him. Literally, like it would bite him. Like it bit him in the fucking van, and then he sat down, and then the dog bit him again. And I was like, dude, you're so full of weed. The dog's biting you. Okay, you win.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but I think the way to approach to do it would be the way that you're doing it, Nicole, is like wait till later in life and like maybe do it every now and then, but like
just never stop until you're 12, I mean, since you're 12, that was a stoner statement. Until you're 12.
Yeah,
since you're 12. No, I did stop for like a few months.
I don't think it's good for like a developing mind.
What's up?
I just don't think it's good for a developing younger person, like when your brain's developing until you're 25.
That's a statement right there.
Yeah,
I just found it helpful when I was in New York and I was working nights. I kind of needed to vape a little bit before bed just to like wind down.
Yeah.
So really for me, it was more like medicinal and just helped me relax. Cause you know, like, I don't know, the whole like rat race thing in New York is pretty brutal. And I spent most of my adult life there.
Yeah.
Like almost 10 years on and off.
Jesus.
So, you know, just like being in like bars and all that stuff till like 4 a.m. and like working, like I would get home at like 4 or 5, usually like 4:35, and then I'm just like my ears are ringing and I can't.
You're like, the sun's about to come up right now.
Yes, it's a really shitty feeling. I don't think I could never do it again. But yeah, it was more medicinal for me. And I think the last time I did was like after we shot the Supermassive music video.
Okay.
That was like
the
most intense video that I've ever shot. And after that, like 13-hour day, I was just like, give me that fucking joint. I'm like, pass that here.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I agree.
So music video shoots are
so we were just to get back to the timeline a little bit. You were talking about finding weed on the road with Suffocate. So you're with Suffocate at that time.
No, that was after Suffocate. Yeah.
I know, but that we got into this big weed conversation because you had mentioned they all needed to find the weed.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but I didn't really tour with them. So they didn't really start touring, I think, until Ricky, like Jared quit and then Ricky joined the band. And I had left before Ricky even joined. I think when Jared left is when I left. Cause like, I think that's who I really like clicked with in the band. And he moved away. Like he moved to like Syracuse or something. And then I'm like, well, I don't think I can like do this band without you. So
the connection wasn't as deep once he was there.
Yeah, you know, so I don't know. So that was kind of like over for me. And
was Suffocate the second band? I'm sorry, did you mention how many bands before you joined that band? You didn't even mention a band name too. We like to hear the old band names too.
The first band name? Okay, the first band that I was ever in, it was like this metalcore band called Shattered Screams.
Shattered Screams.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's not. It's catchy. It falls right into that metalcore style.
Yeah.
I'm down. Well, if you think about it, it's like screams can shatter glass type.
I didn't. They just needed a guitar player, and I wanted to be in a metal band, so
yeah.
I submitted my my tryout video, and they thought it was a lie. They're like, I think that's fake. I don't think she's playing that.
They were calling fake like back then, because nowadays it's like that's like a thing people call out nowadays, but back then they were calling fake.
Yes, which is kind of crazy to think about because I think we just had like, I don't even remember how I recorded a video. It must have either been with like a flip phone or one of those really old like Macintosh computer cameras.
Yep.
So I don't know how you could even make a fake video back then. Like, I don't think I was even technologically that advanced.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that was interesting, but I did have to, you know, go in person and prove myself. So, you know, part of the whole like being a girl in metal, right?
Yeah, I guess that kind of probably is. Yeah, the chauvinistic people can just look at a chick doing that. What did I say?
That's probably what they said. That's probably why they said fake. They're like, oh, it's a girl.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, back
I think
then,
that's the main
they're
thing.
being all dumb. Yeah.
It really is. And then I just love the fact that you're like, fuck this. I'm gonna show you in person. And then you did. And then they're like, you want to be in our band?
Yeah.
All right. So how long did that other band last before that went into Suffocate?
I don't know. That was like maybe a couple years, and there was like one other hardcore band called Torn Between, and they were like a straight edge beatdown band. There was another band called Jaguars. And then I think that's when I joined Suffocate when I was like 18 or 19.
Okay.
So that must have been after I did my first tour with Hoods, because that happened like right when I turned 18.
So you played with Hoods or you toured with them?
I toured with them. So I was like in the band for maybe like, I don't know, 6 months or something.
Trip.
That didn't last very long. It was a terrible first tour, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, it was the Taco Bell tour. Taco Bell
tour.
Three times a day. $5 fucking $5 per diem.
burritos
With that Taco Bell dollar menu.
Straight
tour.
up.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Jared from Archaic before they just left for tour, and I was like, I was thinking of like the per diems and stuff, or the the buyouts or whatever. Like, I think it would be like almost like I don't think promoters or booking agents would ever do anything like this. But would you rather get all of your buyouts up front and then have money to buy food on the road and then like make it, or would you rather get the money as it comes and then do it like that? Because I feel like you can make a lot of those bands, there's bands like Darkest Hour and stuff that like they'll have a bunch of barbecues and stuff every day, and they'll do that, and they'll take their money and do that.
But those buyouts would come in cash, right?
Yeah, but it's like still you get paid.
So think about money. All the dudes that shouldn't be handed that money in the beginning of a tour, because they're going to be using it.
Oh, that is true.
That's a good point.
That is
very quick.
Okay, well, fine. Well, no. Okay.
I just think about the dudes that are like, I'm gonna go buy an 8-ball right now, dude.
Yeah.
We got out for 2 8-balls. Let's fucking do it all. Yeah. No, totally. That makes sense. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't have been me. I feel like I would have made that last because I wasn't like really drinking or like doing any drugs or anything. So
yeah. Until you went back to LA, and then I'm just kidding. But no, definitely that would that wouldn't work. I thought it would be maybe like a good thing to get like a grocery thing together and just like, because that's so much cheaper to get groceries.
You're thinking about that with your mind now, which is exactly how, if ODS went out on tour right now, that's how we would be doing it. Be like, dude, we gotta fucking
8-balls.
No, where's the cooler? Okay. We gotta keep all the fruits and vegetables over here.
Yeah. Totally.
We know how it is if you eat fucking garbage, gas station food all day, and then everybody's breathing each other's funk. Like, you're gonna get sick that way, dude.
Well,
stay healthy on tour, guys. That's one thing you should learn from the pandemic and everything, is eat good food and go fucking be healthy out there.
Taco Bell.
I didn't eat healthy on tour at all.
It's so hard to. It's so hard to.
We were really like on like kind of dollar menu stuff like back then, But when I went to Europe later with like a different band that I formed, we were eating much better because like we would have like riders and stuff, and they feed you much better out there anyway.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. Someone like cooks for you and brings it to the show.
It's like home cooked meals that right. Like every family like is different in what kind of entree they bring you and stuff like that, and it's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Taco Bell like 3 times a day is gnarly, and it's like your stomach's gonna be messed up. But try McDonald's 3 times.
Oh, I know. I was about to bring that.
We did that, dude. Especially one day.
It wasn't
McDonald's 3 times.
Wasn't really our choice, but no, I know.
I'll say that I haven't had McDonald's in like at least a decade, dude. That's like
you live next to one too. That's pretty crazy.
And that's probably why, dude. They took over my fucking Wendy's, bro.
I was on that that streak of not having had McDonald's in probably over 10 years until a couple weeks ago on the Zenith run. We had a real fun tour moment where we were outside eating McDonald's in a parking lot because we didn't want to eat in Brandon's car.
Yeah,
and that just brought me way back. I'm like, this feels like tour. And they had a McPlant, so I got the McPlant.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have like one of those Impossible burgers or whatever.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're trying to get on that bandwagon. That's all right.
It's crazy how that shit doesn't like rot there, right? You can like leave the burger out for like a year and just
but it makes your car smell like farts for like 2 weeks after.
Oh, dude, it tastes so good.
Preservatives like it would maybe preserve you, but it like does the opposite.
Yeah.
McDonald's tastes so good, dude.
Slowly.
I love McDonald's, dude, but it makes my stomach like instantly. I'm like, and I'm like, it's like I ate like glue. And I'm
what if it was like a slow dose of formaldehyde throughout your whole entire life, and you're just slowly like formaldehyding yourself to death?
Oh my god!
Well, the one thing McDonald's, the one thing that McDonald's does do out of like touring and hitting all the places is that it's the same as it is in Redding as it is in fucking Oklahoma.
They're consistent.
They're consistent. You know what you're gonna get. It's not gonna be like I remember going to like Subway and going like in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, you want this wilted lettuce along with this like old avocado?" And like, you want to get like,
Subway. You can rely on the smell of Subway though.
Oh
you can rely every time you walk into Subway. It smells exactly the same. It's kind of like 7-Eleven smells the
like
same.
Yoga mats.
7-Eleven
yoga mats.
Isn't that what they put in their bread?
That's in the bread. Yoga mats, dude. The bread.
No, isn't it pulverized? It's like pulverized duck feathers or something.
There's an ingredient, or not anymore because they got called out probably. But back in like probably I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, Subway bread had like an ingredient that was also in what makes yoga mats, and also in Europe they don't even I forget what they categorize the Subway bread because there's so much sugar in it that they don't call it bread, they call it just like sugar. I forget what they categorize it different because it's but
oh my god,
come on guys, I mean the whole point is just you could make a way cheaper meal at home. Just get in there for fucking 40 minutes and cook your food, guys. Come on.
But yoga's healthy, right? Like yoga's like
I'm gonna do yoga on Subway sandwiches, dude.
Just lay out the bread and
you don't have to keep
sun salutations,
cleaning it with witch hazel and all that shit. Just when you're done, toss your fucking yoga mats in the garbage, dude.
Just eat them. Anyways, so
carb up, dude. Right after you burned all those calories,
Oh my god. So anyways, so staying away from fast food is really hard on tour. So it's like not really like a way to, I mean, and then they'll be like, well, it's Whataburger. And you're like, well, we're in a certain town.
Yeah. We love
Whataburger. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like the thing where people go, you have to go here, then you have to go to
good fast food.
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Waffle House is awful.
I know.
It's terrible, but it's like we always
want covered.
I know. It's crazy how that's like a thing I hear people say all the time.
Smothered and covered.
It's like gravy. Is it smothered and covered? That sounds like biscuits and gravy for sure.
Yeah.
But they just I remember like getting like I was like, do you want cheese with your hash browns? I was like, sure. I don't know. Like I was like drunk.
Well, it was all about the hash browns. That's
and they put a square of the Kraft.
Denny's is awesome.
That was like not even like melted. It was just like a slice of Kraft that was like a little warmed up on there. And I was like, okay, I guess I have cheese on it now.
God.
Waffle House is good. It's just it's Dirty Diana.
You have to know what to get. I feel like
Dirty Diana.
We got the wrong things.
Seriously.
Dirty Diana Diner.
Anyways, back to touring and eating garbage.
No, because that's gonna take us back into talking more about the garbage, dude. Don't talk about the food anymore.
I just saw garbage with my mom the other day. I saw garbage with Tears for Fears with my mom. At
the band. I saw Garbage. That's so cool, man. That was my first concert I ever saw was Garbage opening for Smashing Pumpkins, like '96. How was it, dude?
Dude, she actually, to be honest with you, I mean, Tears for Fears is the reason why it was like a Mother's Day present. I'm like, we're getting front row to because she like showed me that stuff when I was a little kid, and it got me like kind of inspired musically. And I was like, flew her out and watching it, and then like, well, I have to watch this Garbage. It's like this old '90s band, and we were sitting there going like, fuck, she's a Scottish singer and was very good. I was like actually very impressed. I almost like am more impressed with her than Tears for Fears. I was like,
newest comment. Sorry, dude. I know I'm taking it back to the food. It's classified as a cake or biscuit. It's not classified as bread.
Oh, because it's got sugar content. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So do you want wheat cake or do you want? Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
But,
in Ireland. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that was Garbage is very impressive. And they played ode to Depeche Mode in the middle of it. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, Depeche Mode's one of my favorite bands. So I was like, They just because a shout out for the dude that died, and I was like, fuck yeah. So I was like, this already is winning so hard. So Tears for Fears has to bring it, but I like 5 Tears for Fears songs. I found out 5 or 6. And they have like 9,000 songs they have to play to get to those. So I'm sitting there going like standing up in the front going like, fuck yeah, they're playing my song. And then I have to sit down for like 25 minutes, like
God.
not knowing anything. They're like, oh, it's my song again. And then, all right, go back,
Yeah, I guess they played here they played in LA last Saturday.
Yep.
But I was at the Suffo show.
Nice.
And at the Suicide Silence show. I went to 2 shows that night because like I went to really I was excited to see Surruption. And then I ran into like Mark and DK and I hadn't seen them in so long and I'm just like, oh my God. And they're like, you want to come with us to our show down the street? And I'm like, yes, because I hadn't seen them in so long. So it was just like a fat reunion that night with like all those dudes. And like, I'm so glad I went because I just missed them so much, Yeah.
They're amazing. Definitely.
Yeah. So I miss Suffo, but for good reason.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not gonna knock it. If somebody was like, come to my show for free and I haven't seen them in years, I'd be like,
dude, you can drag me out easy.
It was like for the homies,
Yeah.
Exactly I can't say no to that.
And plus,
I didn't even know they were
my best
playing
friend, so of course they'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go see you. I've seen Suffo multiple times.
But he's your best friend, so you can be like, fuck you. I'm gonna watch Suffo.
I see you both ways, dude. Or I'll be like, yeah. I'll come over after Thrones, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Suffocation rules, but that tour was really cool because I hadn't seen any of those 3 bands. Like, was it Centurion or how do you say that? And then Contrarian. Sorry. And then obviously Surruption, which is they're all those bands
sick,
were really good. And then Atheist was really a treat to see. It was kind of funny. I went to the show in San Diego at Brick by Brick, and I went by myself, and I just kind of cruised up, and I first person I saw sitting out there was Kelly from Atheist, just by himself smoking a cigarette. And I was just like, hey, man, what's up? I've never met him before, but I talked to him and stuff. And obviously he was on the podcast, but, we were just kind of, he was super chill and just kind of chatting. It was super fun. But, man, that shit was crazy. That show is nuts. Like, all the bands
Atheist was
fucking great.
Atheist was like,
Atheist was a treat, wasn't it?
Yeah, because, I mean, I didn't know how aggressive. And actually, speaking of your band, Nicole, there were some parts I was listening to today that sounded like kind of like breaking into like kind of an Atheist like bass line, or just
so I never got around to like really listening to them, and Justin was telling me that I would probably like them, so I was excited to see them that night, but I still haven't like sat down and like really listened
for the listeners.
It felt different.
She's talking about Justin McKinney from Zenith Passage, which is her love as well.
Yeah.
All right, love her. We'll get into that more later because I didn't want to hear the origin of that, but we'll get to it on the timeline.
So there's a emote for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out, Justin. I saw you in the chat earlier.
I'm sure he's gonna make his cameo at some point.
Oh yeah, is he home? Yeah, I would love for him to come on and say hi.
He's here, so whenever
Sweet, dude.
Oh, did you hear that? Or like, you literally just walked outside right now. We were just talking about you. Can you tuck my sound really quick?
There he is.
Hold on, he's gonna change so we can hear.
Are we changing? We're changing outputs.
Hey!
Look at that stud.
Look at that hair. I wonder what kind of product he's got to use some top-notch product in there.
Oh yeah, dude. And he's probably got like he's got
can you hear?
Subscription. Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Oh sweet.
What's up, y'all?
Perfect.
Hey, what's up, man?
What up, dude?
How's it going, dude?
We're out here fucking riding horses, bro.
That's what I heard.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
walking the walk
dude.
and flipping the flop, dude.
Flipping the flop. You're gonna use that now.
You gotta
gallery.
I love it. Please don't let us forget that, Cali Death fans. Let's keep walking the walk and flipping the flop, dude.
Yes.
print that, dude.
Let that one Barry Barry or beat it out, please. Barry,
Barry beat it out.
Oh man.
So you guys are up in kind of by Yosemite, right? That's what Nicole was saying. Just
like up near Prather. I'm not sure if you know where that's kind of like near Shaver Lake.
I know where Groveland is, and I know where because that's right outside Yosemite too, right?
Yeah, it's like Coarse Gold, Fish Camp, like kind of those little
yeah.
towns. It's kind of like in that vicinity. Like Yosemite Lakes is one too.
Yeah, one of the ugliest places in the United States by far, right?
Such ugly nature.
I know. No, Yosemite and that whole area is fucking like probably top 3 most beautiful places, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely unmatched anywhere in the world.
So you guys go up there to kind of like get serenity and write and work on music? Is that what you guys?
Yeah, my grandparents live up here. They have this ranch, and then they're out of town. They're going on tour right now for like 2 months. So
I told them.
so like I'm just going up here to try to finish writing. And
are they doing lights for like Cannibal or something, or what are they doing? Sugar. That's awesome. Where are they headed? We're like RV. They're doing the RV style, obviously.
They were doing the RV thing, and now they're too old, so now they're just in the Subi and just doing the hotels. They're headlining now. So
I
didn't headlining.
Oh my god.
No, RV.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That's awesome.
That's fucking awesome. Great,
How far are they going?
Dude, they're in New York right now. They drove from
Jesus.
Yeah, they're like going to Niagara Falls on the Canada side tomorrow.
That's what's
up. Are they gonna sneak over into Canada? Just like because they both have felonies, right? They're both gangsters, right?
Yeah, they're criminals.
Dude, a part of me sees myself having a small RV and my wife and I, after they're all out and doing their own thing, we just hit the road, dude. I could do that.
It's the life. They went on tour for like since my grandpa retired for the second time. They went on tour like
for the second time.
Yeah, he was like smart. He was a homicide detective and then retired from that, and then went and worked for the DA and then retired from that. So he's
you can't lie to him, dude.
Yeah, he knows everything. He's got some wild stories too.
I bet. Yeah. Just in LA, he was a detective?
No, in Fresno.
Oh, Fresno. Oh, it's totally mellow there. So there's probably no homicides.
Pretty fucking insane.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful area. This is probably one of the coolest backgrounds. This is the coolest background we've seen.
Most definitely.
This is
a green screen.
Oh, okay. So that's a really nice green screen at your apartment.
I know. I was looking to say.
I almost believed you guys.
I know you would.
Changing color.
Yeah.
See the distortion on her shoulders when she moves? Yeah, that's a green screen.
Usually you could tell with the hair.
Yeah.
Bring Winnie in.
Oh, the horse? Yeah, there's a horse.
Oh yeah, bring a horse on the podcast.
That would be dope. We've seen dogs, cats, fucking whatever other pet, dude. But a horse, dude. We need a horse, dude.
Where's Bronson? Bronson.
Shout out to Alan Cassidy for posting about Trevor's fake band names. One of them was Carnivorous Horse, dude.
Oh yeah,
dude, and it made me. I was like holding my stomach when I read it, dude. Casey sent it to me, dude. What's up? That's definitely a sick horse, dude. Is that a Clydesdale?
That's a Clydesdale. That's a Clydesdale. That's one of those Budweiser horses, right?
Budweiser horse.
Oh god. Yeah, this is Bronson.
Bronson.
What up, Bronson?
You understand?
He's like
busy chasing squirrels all day.
Squirrel. Squirrel.
There's a squirrel?
Where's a squirrel at? Get the squirrel.
Where's a squirrel?
You get him.
Is it? It's a.
Oh, you see, he definitely sees something.
Right there. Right there. Get him.
Get him. Get him.
Get him, Vicky. Right there. Get him.
It's like that.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Well, it's good seeing you, Justin. You can stick around, but we're in this for your lady, bro.
No, dude, I just came in to give her some
Oh yeah. Come here.
But dude,
fresh cherry. Nice.
Perfect, dude.
Yeah, there's a cherry orchard right there.
Homie, dude, you got to come back on soon and give us the rundown on the Zenith run you guys just did.
Yeah, dude, that shit was fun.
I said all the footage and everything, dude. It looked like you guys had a blast, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome. They killed it.
It was fun as fuck, dude. Got
to
see all the friends.
You guys killed it, man. I don't want to I loved Alluvial, and you guys I was like watching you. I mean, because obviously to see Derek back on stage again, and I just love him as a front man, so much, and everything sounded great, and you got Beatty and everything on there, and you guys were tight as fuck, and
thanks, dude.
Man, I
was so pissed that I missed it, dude, but I was out of town.
Yeah, it was honestly, I was like, fuck, dude, I think Zenith might have won the night. I think. everyone was telling me that too, and they were like, I think Zenith kind of was. I mean, they were like Alluvial and everyone, and Fallujah and everyone like on Rivers are great, and they fucking killed it. But they were like, I think overall. Oh shit! Shit!
She got a squirrel. He got a squirrel.
Hey, come here.
The carnivorous horse got her, dude.
Yeah, the cat.
Come here, Peaky. No.
That's a big no.
The cat. Yeah.
He won't do anything. He will just.
It's been a while since we've had a cat.
But,
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, dude, it's all good. You just sound like me when I'm talking to my kids, dude. That's fine.
Oh, I got Crispy on here. We got.
What's up, Chris?
Beaties.
Shout out to that boy.
Krispy Kreme.
So actually, to kind of I don't. Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean,
that's what's up.
But fuck yeah. No, yeah, it was awesome. One thing to bring up both of you guys. So we were all in. We went to go see Between the Buried and Me in I don't know, LA somewhere, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like and Nicole, I think I like met you for a half second or something like that. I have no idea. Were you there at the show?
I was, yeah. I was at the
she was there.
BTM.
Yeah, and that's where Chris. I met up with Chris and Joseph, and I was like talking to Derek afterwards, and was like, "Hey, check out this guy's band, dude. It's insane." And then like
Dreamer,
right away, like and then right away, Dreamer, obviously, and what's it called? Bart and fucking Metal Blade added his band like that night or something. And he's all, "What the fuck?" He's all texting me like, "What the fuck is this?" He's all freaking out.
By the way, the guy who also did our intro to this show.
Yeah, totally. He's an amazing guitar player. Amazing.
He's the sickest dude.
A phenomenal player and writer.
Yeah,
and a great dude. I met him. We got to hang out with him at Las Vegas Metal Fest. Dude, that guy's phenomenal.
One of the meanest guys I've ever met. But
yeah, dude.
Yeah, you got to bring him on.
Oh, I know. We
don't even fucking start with me, bro. Do not even start with me.
Chris, commit. You have to commit in the chat, Chris. Are you coming on? Chris, when are you available? Whoa, hey, how you doing?
There's even been like he's been on the post pods. He like pops on the post pods. I'm like, dude, you're doing it right now. You know.
It says just hit me up.
Hit me up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Well, are you committing? Are you committing, or what's the hit me up going to be like when I text you? Be like, oh, I don't know.
He's committed.
We got some openings, dude.
I need 100%.
We're booked out to almost, dude. We're booking August almost already.
Yeah, that's
I know.
Yeah,
it's flowing in.
Actually, no, we are already booking August.
Oh, we got 100. We got 100. Okay,
we got 100.
So
boom.
All right, I'll let you up after the podcast.
Everybody keeps asking about your intro, and you're the fucking one of the next phenoms, dude. You definitely got to get out here. 110.
Yeah.
Boom. All right.
In the group chat, we were like, damn, we might need another song, and then everyone's like, just do the Cali Death song.
Dude, if you guys covered it, that would be fucking sick, dude.
It's some joke Derek made.
If you guys covered it and I was there live, I'll like do a freestyle growls over it.
That song's so tight.
As long as Joel isn't on the fucking mixer to where he mute my shit while I'm freestyling, motherfucker.
I'm just helping people out. I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, I'm super stoked to see him in your band. I'm super stoked. Like that was when that was announced. I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's a great dude." And getting like kind of road exposure is great for him. And maybe you could steal him forever. And like I don't know, but
blood in, blood out, dude.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's what's up, dude.
But I think I was drunk and yelling at you, Justin. I'm like, let him fucking do Dreamer shit though. I need Dreamer.
Oh, absolutely, dude. He's fucking doing it, man.
Yeah, just like hook him up with like recording stuff and just have him just all the peoples and do the things, but or bring a horse over. But whatever you want.
We're on the carriage.
That's one thing that I've learned about this on this show, though, dude, and all the people that we come across, like Justin, Nicole, Chris, all these people that are this like new, like recharged aspect of metal that came, out of the pandemic, and I'm just seeing so much. I have so much faith in these people as musicians, like. Dude. I'm not joking, dude. This like makes me really excited for the next level of metal, dude, because and it's fucking Cali, bro.
We're just carrying the torch that you passed to us, dude.
Yeah. Well, I didn't pass shit, dude. I can't fucking play anything you guys do. There's a fucking moth flying around in front of my face. Yeah, but no, I think you guys are all. It makes me very proud to be a part of this. Still, you know, we're gonna eventually contribute more music to this pretty soon. We're working on it right now, but seeing you guys doing what you guys are doing, it's reignited like the flame, I think, in pretty much all of us as hosts, the older guys. You know, Joseph's been nonstop the whole fucking time, so his flame's always been lit. But like, you know, like just getting excited about like what's coming versus getting excited about all the stuff we loved from the past. Like, I haven't really felt like super excited about new stuff lately, and you guys are all making me excited again. So
that's sick,
thank you, dude.
Well, especially the Twitch shit you guys are doing is like I get it tells me every time you guys are live. I'm like, what am I doing? Like if I'm hanging out at home, I'm just jump in. You know, like you guys are very entertaining Twitch folks, and that's a cool new medium to like, you know, show off.
That's another thing too. Like that's why we kind of jumped on the bandwagon, because we were seeing the success that you know, all the metal musicians that decided early enough, you know, how are we going to supplement income and not only supplement income, but you know, keep the chops up and keep, you know, performance fresh and all that stuff while being at home. Like I love that. Like Twitch, before all that, Twitch just always was video games for me. You know, I didn't know that they were doing anything else but that. And then now we're like, oh shit, we're missing out, guys. You know,
it's been awesome. I mean, Justin was like really pushing me to do it for the longest time, and I don't know. I never like thought it was for me. Yeah, I'm kind of a shy person, you know.
She was like,
so I was like,
I have to practice.
I know. I'm like, I have to like, what if I fuck up or like hit a sour note and like I don't know what to say. Like there's gonna be all these people watching me on the internet. Like,
yeah.
I know some people like that. Mike Gilbert.
Like awkward at first, and like I swear, like the first few weeks that I started streaming, like it would take me 30 minutes to just hit like go live because I was so nervous. And then you know, like I started to kind of like get to know like people in the chat and seeing like familiar names, and then it really just became like, oh shit, I'm kind of just hanging out with my friends and like jamming and like talking to them, and it was super chill, and like it's been such a blessing, you know. So I'm glad like he like pushed me to do it, and Scott really too pushed both of us.
Who was like, I went on his stream to like kind of, we did cross promotional things for our bands, like with Algorithmic came out, and then I just was like, all right, I'm gonna like really try this now, and he like kind of guided me and helped me get through it and kind of give me some mental prep for it, because like going into streaming, it's like a totally different mindset than playing live. Whereas live is you got to be like 100% and like, you know, you can't fuck up and you got to work on this and that. But Twitch is more like being in a room with your homies jamming.
Yeah.
Practicing. Like I feel like it's been such amazing like practice for me, and like helping me kind of like keep my chops up, and then also kind of like showing people some behind the scenes of like the writing process that I was doing for a little while, and like my tracking process and everything. So it really like went outside my comfort zone to kind of like connect with people on that level.
I think it was a perfect timing too, because we went through the pandemic and stuff where we all of a sudden had to do like Zoom meetings all the time, and we were, you know, we had to do like change the way we communicated at work and stuff like that. So we were like, all of a sudden we're on this like kind of this webcam going, you know, like having to do work stuff, and then we see you guys and like Scott, Justin, and Nicole doing their like thing up there, and I'm like, fuck, like we're in front of a webcam, you know, like at work all the time, and like might as well kind of like, and with the podcast too, same thing. Like we're just, you know, it kind of really helped me, or just helped usher in doing this, because work was this now, you know, work was like a not live version of this, of, you know, I did this today like 4 times for work, you know, like talking to people and working out like projects and stuff like that. But I think the whole Zoom kind of culture, because of the pandemic, kind of helped usher this in a little bit easier, you know what I mean, rather than just jumping in just like, fuck it, let's just fucking go live or something like that. Sounds like a nightmare to me until the whole pandemic kind of kicked in and doing that whole live meeting gig, you know.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone's hyping each other up too. Like, like Max from Anomalous is on.
Oh
and
yeah, dude.
Fucking Mike Gilbert shred. Like that's fucking crazy, dude. Like
it's so cool to just
real quick. Gilbert's like mad at me that what I said earlier, dude. I'm fucking with you, bro. And then we're talking about the beginnings of the shit. Yeah, you're already in it, dude. I know you're in it now. I'm talking about a little shy in the beginning. It's okay, dude. Just relax.
Especially like there's so many amazing people on Twitch right now, but I do really want to shout out, Max and Troy and Mike Gilbert, because they pulled up like gangsters on this shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Seriously, like especially Troy just pulled up with like 5 angles.
Yeah, I know.
Shit set up, and like I almost got like disgusted because I'm like, like how difficult this was for me when I started. I didn't know how to do anything. I mean, I'm not very like good with computers and stuff. So Justin is my life tech. He pretty much teched the fuck out of everything for me.
That's what's up.
Including like guitar shit, like
yeah.
So just thinking about how many problems I had, like I almost hated streaming in the beginning because I'm like, what's gonna go wrong today?
Mm-hmm.
15 camera Fullerton, dude. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, who's that guy on Twitch? That drummer who has like he has a camera on like a gimbal, like a rolling gimbal and everything. And it's all automated. I forgot his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. He has the lights and he has like 6 PCs.
It's called like Mr. Greggles. I think Mr. Greggles is his name.
Trip.
Samus has that thing too.
Yeah, Samus is sick too. He's incredible.
He has like on the track, the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also that guy, Scene of Action.
Oh, Scene of Action. That's who I was thinking of.
That guy is like it's a DVD music video or like a concert. It's insane. He apparently worked for Anthrax and Metallica engineering and doing all this shit.
Wow.
Engineering setup that he has going on.
That's crazy. Yeah, people are just jumping in huge, because they have the.
You guys already mentioned Max, but it's still, that was one of the things where it's like, oh shit, dude, he's over 1,000 already, and he started like the day after he was on our show. I remember watching his first stream. He was just chilling in the garage. His kids were playing in the driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's
I think that was the first one. I think it was the first. I mean, he was on our podcast and he did Scott Carstairs. He like jumped on and was kind of like doing like a remote kind of session with him. And I tuned in and I was like, this is fucking fun. And that, like just watching them and everyone's like, we're doing a really bad job of it, but everyone like responding to the chat constantly. And like, I'll just type something and they're like, Joel, what's up? Oh, I'm like, whoa. I'm like watching this on my living room TV right now with my phone just kind of buzzed on the couch. I'm like, this is fun.
Oh yeah. I remember the first time I saw Max streaming. I had no idea who he was, but there was this guy like streaming, like playing, amazing shit, just improving, and his phrasing was just kind of like blowing my mind. And I couldn't wait to tell Justin that I discovered this person.
This guy, from Anomalous.
That's Max from Anomalous. I'm like, who's Anomalous? Like, I don't know about this.
Anomalous is the most technical fucking band to come out of California. I say that every time we bring them up. I definitely think that they shred everybody in the tech category out of California.
One take Max, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes all his fucking solos like once. It's crazy, dude.
That's what Nate was talking about, like when we had the ontogeny episode about like, because how Nate joined on Anomalous and stuff like that. He would just come in with like just like whatever, just dry and just fucking solo for like ontogeny and Anomalous, whatever, just do a quick improv and just one time, just be done. Like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
so baller.
Insane.
I'm like pulling my hair out, just trying to fucking write a solo. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Max is like,
me too.
God. There is something. What about that though? It's like, I love both those style musicians though. I love the style like Justin who picks it apart and makes sure every single note is the exact note that he wants in there, versus the guy like Max. And I'm not saying that Max is like this overall, but I'm just saying like the guy who can tap into something where he is literally just creating in the moment, like that's I respect both sides of it, and I love mixtures of it,
because he can improvise. So he's like a jazz, trained dude.
That's what I'm saying. But like conjuring something in the moment, like I love that.
The guys that can improvise can also write out a solo and play it.
They can't do it. They can't write out a solo.
He can do both, you know?
Well, but there are guys that can't, I'm just saying, like, we're talking a spectrum now where like you can find a guy who can do both, but then there's the guy who can only do it one way and only do it the other way too.
My favorite
and
thing
I'm
to do to Max,
I'm not saying that either one of these guys, Justin or Max, that I'm talking about are on two opposite sides of that spectrum.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, either way, that's just like that thing and then that thing. I'm like, oh, I love both of those things.
My favorite thing to like fuck with Max on is just like I think last time he was like, request whatever song I'll solo over. I'm like, all right, here's a 43% Burnt by Dillinger Escape Plan. Just like kind of fucked up one. He's stole it. And he had a couple, he was like sitting there going like, he's like, fuck. And he's like, he came up with some like fucking insane runs like under it. And I was like, whoa, like cool. How are you improvising under this? It's super cool.
Well, I mean, it's kind of fits the title of his stream, right? I literally improvise over anything. Literally anything, I think, is what he puts.
Yep. And I was like, here you go.
So what about you, Nicole? How are you?
I'm on the other side of that spectrum.
Yeah.
I'm like so unorthodox and just like uneducated in like music theory that I've done everything by ear.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time can't really explain what it is I'm doing. So, I will take stuff to the band and, in Kallias and, somebody like Zachy, our other guitar player, and our bassist, Chris, like he's like a Berkeley grad. They'll be like, oh, you're playing this in like, 13/4 and in this key. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
Oh, of course I am.
Yeah, that's what I meant to do. Like, are you kidding me? No, it just, I mean, I get it. Like, definitely like having that or knowing that theory is a good tool to have, but I just never learned that growing up.
Yeah.
And I've just always kind of had my way of writing by ear. And, like I love writing. Like that's kind of been my main focus as a player. Like my whole life was just writing original material. So I got used to doing that. But, I will say that like when it comes to writing leads and then writing a lot of like clean, like kind of jazzy progressions, it does take me longer because I have to like find where like I'm trying to interpret what's going on in my head. And I don't know like how to interpret that quickly because I'm like, oh, this chord should go into this because it's in this key and like, or it's an inversion of that or whatever. Like I have to actually like find it. So, it takes me longer, but eventually like I will get it, So.
That was, for me, it was kind of same thing. It was like the first guitar teacher was a guy in the back of a music, like a music selling place. That would basically be like, everyone's like, if you want to learn any song, he'll listen to it, tab it out for you, teach you how to play it, and then send you on your way.
That's what my teacher did for me.
Yeah,
I took lessons for like, I think 2 years. And then like, I guess it was expensive. My parents couldn't afford it. And they thought like, oh, she's playing songs already. She doesn't need any more lessons. But all he was doing was like, I would go there once a week. I'd be like, hey, I want to learn this Pearl Jam song or this Metallica song. And he would listen to it and like somehow EQ the vocals out on his like boombox. And then like, chicken scratch, write out tabs for me.
Same thing.
And that's how I like learned how to read tabs and like practice songs and stuff was just on pieces of paper, which I took that into adulthood. What is this?
Menu food. We gotta get food.
Oh, just pick something for me.
McDonald's.
Full screen.
Taco Bell. McDonald's.
That hopefully won't get me sick.
McDonald's. Remember when we had McDonald's when we were driving up to what's his name's house? Tommy's house in Santa Cruz.
Oh, I told them that story already.
We got the story.
But so now that you're here for a second before you go, I'm explaining to them like how I learned my lessons and my guitar teacher.
With your freaking hieroglyphs, your cave drawings.
So I've been
interesting.
Okay. Until I met Justin, which was really only a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago, right?
Well, we met in like at Jerry's a long time ago, but it was like in hindsight. Like,
I had no idea. Yeah. But anyway, like he got a glimpse of like what my tabbing process looked like, because I found some old like papers. I got to figure something out, and I'm like, oh, let me find the tab. And I was looking through all my papers, and then I pulled it out, and he looked at it, and he's like, "What in the fuck is this?" It's like, different alien language, like little weird symbols that really I just understand. And he's like, have you ever like heard of Guitar Pro? And I'm just like, I think so, but I don't know. Isn't it like a computer program? And I don't know. I gotta learn if I can computer program. And like, this is fine. I just tab it out like this. He's like, no.
No, you gotta.
So give me an example, because I'm a dum-dum. Like, so you wrote your own language, basically, to help just to make it understandable for you.
For me, yeah.
So what would represent what? Like, give me an example of like a chord would represent this symbol.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty. It works, but
yeah, I would have symbols for like vibrato and trems, and then like for like rhythmic patterns that I would play on open. I would write the down up down, but it would look like new. Like an N would be a down, and a U would be an up.
So it's the motions, maybe.
Yes, it was like the motion, because I was very like, when I was writing kind of like more technical rhythms and like rhythm displacements and stuff, a lot of the time I had to actually draw it on a piece of paper so that I could understand where I was going, and then I could memorize it and follow it. Like, I had no idea what like time signature it was or whatever, but just drawing it out helped me understand, oh, this is where like it loops back around, and this is where I'm displacing it. And that's really how I really started writing like prog music, is just drawing out these patterns on papers that really only I would understand.
I'd love to see an example of this.
And then Guitar Pro is like
I really do. Like, no, I'm fascinated by this right now.
Well, the best part is like when you have an idea.
Picture one day.
Just Google ancient Egyptian.
Ancient Aliens, season 3, episode 4, 2 minutes and 37 seconds in.
Riffs.
The first Kallias song was born.
Kallias. Polyrhythms, man.
Well, it used to be like with Power Tab, like Power Tab wouldn't really care about what time signature you were in, so it would just be like everything would just be like legit. Like Mike Gilbert one time, I remember a long time ago, I was like,
all tapped out, like, the Severed Savior stuff.
Yeah, it was like, hey, he sent me like a bunch of Power Tab. I was like, I want to like get back into guitar. I was like on tour with Decrepit, and I was like, can you send me some of your stuff, because I feel like it's the best alternate picking things. But when you take those kind of riffs and then you put it in Guitar Pro, it's just like red. Like, like
that's another good story. And a really good learning process for me was Murray sent me the tabs to Fecal Philiac.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay, I need a new project song, something like I want to, kind of get the fingers going, right? So he sent me Fecal Philiac, and it was a power tab, and I imported everything was red, and I'm just, I'm like, babe, I'm like,
you need to download Power Tab.
This like, how do I?
Fecal wasn't that bad to fix. I just showed her how to like read time signature. I mean, I just made everything.
Okay.
But dude, the Power Tab import of question is like fucking crazy.
It's the whole thing's just red. It's just like a bunch of question marks all over all of it.
It's like jumping between different tracks. But I ended up fixing it all, and then I sent a version to Scott. I don't know if I sent it to everyone else, but I'll have to throw that back to Gilbert.
Yeah,
dude, it works.
Power Tab is great. It's like the time signature is just whatever you want it to be. Like every bar.
Yeah, it just goes on and on.
As long as you want, and then next bar, it just doesn't matter.
That's a good project, though. That's a good project to bring in. That's a great project, like what Nicole's saying. That's a great project to bring in to import a fucking Power Tab, which has no time signatures. The whole thing's red, and then you have to figure out the time signatures, and you have to like understand it each bar by bar.
So and again, I'm
I mean,
just to understand it.
I had to deal with all the old.
I'm the dummy in this situation,
right.
though.
It's
So what is
insanity,
all red?
dude.
What does all red mean?
So
the
okay,
time
so
signature's wrong. Yeah,
Look at all you guys. All you guys are like, I know.
No, Casey's the Guitar Pro like guru. So take it away.
So the thing is, so what we're saying is that when you import power tab files into Guitar Pro, it like the time signatures, it doesn't equate. Like, so it's like it doesn't like Guitar Pro is like just set like, okay, 4/4, like whatever, and it doesn't transfer first of all. But most people, when they write on power tab in the first place, they just kind of make random time signatures like we all did. And you just kind of get to the next bar, and then you don't really think of like, okay, this should be 7/4 or 7/7/4 or 7 whatever, yeah. So like when you put on Guitar Pro, you're like, oh shit, I have to like put all this in time signatures now. So the red indicates that your bar has an incorrect amount of notes, usually not enough notes or too many notes for that bar. So you have to like correct the time signature, or which usually what you end up having to do is redo the entire thing and find out what the actual time signature is, and then copy pastes from each bar and figure it all out and count it out. And it's super fun.
Sounds super fun, dude.
It can be done.
No, it's great. It's a great tool. I mean, I use it. I've been using it since I was in high school.
Whenever you guys talk about this shit, you want to know what's going through my head? It's cool to listen to metal in 8-bit. While you guys, that's just repeating, like hearing like
Mega Man.
Okay, so
8-bit Severed Savior is dope, dude. That's all I think.
I mean, I do like a Guitar Pro stream like usually once a week.
Yeah,
like
I've
where
watched
I'm like learning stuff, or just like mostly just like learning songs, and then I just put the Guitar Pro up like on the green screen, and I'm just just learn, because I think that's the best tool to really practice and learn and write. I mean, just totally faster than like sitting there and tracking something.
Yeah, well, I think writing in Guitar Pro, like getting an idea out before it escapes you is
that's what I was just about to say, dude. I was just equating it to me writing. I have to write it down if I have an idea, because if I don't write it down, I lose the idea. Same thing. I was just saying that's the perfect tool for a guitar player to catch an idea, leave it, and not lose it.
Yeah, it's the not best worry about recording it, especially if it's like a difficult riff. I think
you get caught in details, and then like you're just focusing on playing it right, and the next thing you know, like, well, fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I just lost my inspiration. And then you get bummed out.
Yeah,
so just throwing in Guitar Pro real quick, just get it out of your system, and then like move on. That's like, I think, the best way to, at least for this kind of music.
Yeah,
then you let it marinate, and then you go back to it, and you be like, oh, I can wiggle around here, I can wiggle around there, and then expand it out. And
I mean, I think if you're not musically educated, I think another good way is just probably just
hitting numbers,
which I've heard like Ola England, there was like that, he asked him like, what does he do, and he'll just sit there and just record himself for like 20 minutes of just jamming, and then like listen back to it and be like, all right, well, I'll take a chunk of this, then work on this later. Take a chunk of this.
That's how Dimebag did it. He had a 4-track on his nightstand.
Yeah, that's probably
why. Wake up and play riffs in the middle of the night.
But as far as like what, go ahead.
Even humming on your phone, like if you have a rhythmic idea in your head, just tap it out or hum it in your phone. I used to do that.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've totally done that.
Oh, totally. That's definitely like our lyric ideas. People have been like, get the voice recorder out and just say some shit.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem too, like before I started using Guitar Pro, is that like, writing like proggy stuff and like writing a lot of clean like passages, I would write them, record it, and then I would forget how to play it. And then it would take me forever to figure out like something I wrote. And I've done it so many times where like with Kallias too, where like, I wrote something and then like, I moved on or whatever. And then I would bring it back to the band, and I would have to have Zachy sit down and help me like figure out like how to play something that I wrote.
Definitely.
I'm just like, this is like embarrassing, but like, now
but
like
at least you didn't lose the idea. At least
I know now I've learned like, okay, this is like a weird kind of riff. Like I should just tab this out and just put it away.
Yeah,
and back to it later.
And actually, what to like Justin was saying, I kind of want to do this real quick. It's I've been drinking, so This is actually Carrie shows me this. Carrie's like obsessed. My best friend Carrie's like obsessed with this. About it's fucking John Tesh. But you remember, the basketball theme, like that watch, listen.
One of the things I've discovered is
wait, is that like a copyright? Oh, it doesn't
Jesus.
matter. Fuck it.
To write a song in the most
Watch,
unusual way came to me when I was in Europe about 4 or 5 years ago. I was trying
It's
to
gonna be
write
a couple seconds.
a sports theme, and I did not have a piano in the hotel where I was staying. So I did probably what many of you have done, faced with a similar situation. I called my answering machine at home, and I left a message.
Oh,
for
I've heard of
myself.
this.
Yeah.
And although that sounds goofy, what happened was that theme that I sang into the machine is the theme that they play every time the Chicago Bulls crush another basketball team. So I am singing themes into my machine regularly. And special bonus for you folks, I have brought the original answering machine tape with me, so I can play it for you. I know
that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's tight.
But it has to be played on the original answering machine. So here now the original demo tape for this particular song.
God.
Basketball.
Hi, this is a message for me about the NBA theme. Here's an idea. It goes like this. Wow.
Yeah, so that's
great, dude. That is great.
Yeah. So that's like became like the NBC theme for like 15 years or something like that. It was just that little thing.
Isn't that funny how bump ticket dance is like it's like a thing that everybody does drums with their mouth. Bump ticket, bump ticket.
I mean, how else are you gonna do it?
That implies a little bass in there too, like boom.
Or I guess you could be like boom, boom, boom. It's all about the snare, really. It's all about changing the snare.
Yo, I am like the worst when I'm trying to like be like hissing.
I'm just making fun of Anthony.
Well, my face was too extreme for you guys. Sorry. I'll just drink a High Moon and shut
I'm
up.
the worst when I'm trying to describe drums. Like if I have like an idea of like I'm trying to tell like my drummer JP, and we're in the studio, and I'm like, yeah, I have this riff or whatever, and then he's like, well, what are you like kind of hearing over that? And I'm like, I don't know, like, and I start moving my arms around.
Right.
Like, all right, so yeah, I'll just try and figure something out there.
yeah.
Not very drum inclined.
Yeah. That's
translating what you want to hear on drums to a drummer when you're not a drummer.
Yeah.
It's just like throw some China up in there and then cowbell, little splash, and they're just like, all right, dude, yeah. And then is it like this? And you're like, yeah. Oh no, not so much over here. And
speaking of Guitar Pro, that's been the hardest thing is like come up with an idea and like put drums behind it, like all of a sudden like I'm not a drummer and have to like program like Carrie will just do like a basic beat behind it, and then we'll just send it to Casey and he'll be like Casey will be like the most insane like
Casey finds all the gaps and fills them,
dude. I've been getting really nerdy, dude. I've been like this parts where I'm like, okay, I have to put the hi-hat like that sizzles out like into like the acoustic part, and it has to go right at this time, so it has to start on this beat. Like
it's
weird. Yeah, but it's kind of fun. I was like, I don't know if I'll actually do that like in the studio, but it's like funny, like to make Guitar Pro. There's also this like reverse, like I don't know, it's like a reverse splash. It's like key command 4 on like whatever, like the symbol line, and it has like this like reverse like sound, and it's super funny. So like
Casey's the most insane person at Guitar Pro I've ever met in my life, dude.
Damn.
I get weird.
Yeah, I have
sizzle out, dude.
To do any drums or anything in Guitar Pro.
Yeah, because you look at tabs and stuff, like it's a totally different tab. It's like they're numbers still. It's like 20. You want 24, 26,
well,
29.
No, you don't want to use the numbers though when you're doing drum.
Oh, okay.
You just use the notes, so you just put like it's so much easier to like. I don't even understand drum tab. That's like insane to me. Way harder. You just like if you just put like the kick is a note, and the snare is a note. It's just like the bottom like space. Like it's like so if it's your treble clef, that's F. It's the bottom space. Or whatever. It's just and so then like C, like the third space up would be snare. And that's basically and then there's toms in between, and then the X's or symbols, pretty much it,
Yeah.
So it's like a lot easier, just okay, this is the hi-hat, that's the ride, and that's the crash, and then there's like toms, and it's basically it. So But yeah, it's
just basically, dude, I'll just go ahead and do that now. It's gonna be super easy.
yeah. But I mean, there's no need for numbers because it's not like a string instrument.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I can understand
The
that.
numbers is for string instrument, and that's the thing about tabs. There's a really cool like video about the history of guitar. It's like 400 years of tabs they used, and all because all these string instruments use tabs. Like it's crazy, like violins and all kinds of shit. So, anyways,
definitely.
My drummer doesn't even like program anything. He literally just goes into the studio and he'll just record something.
Yep.
So like if I send him, I mean, now that I moved away from the guys, like that's how we've been writing the album is like, I'll start a riff or something, and then usually the first person I send it to is JP, and he usually will send me like a video back, and I'll like extract the audio from that, and then have an idea of like what I'm gonna do next.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how we've been doing it. But I don't know, like I kind of think like we did this album kind of ass backwards. Like a lot of these songs were written without vocals in mind, obviously, because we were instrumental for the longest time. And now that we added vocals last summer, that's when we're like, okay, now we need to probably rearrange these songs, take out like a little bit more leads and actually make room for like a vocal structure.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
a couple things, like I think it's like the last song on the record, Chris like did some singing like right off the bat, and it made me like want to change the entire song based off of what he did vocally. And now like I'm like, we can't write like this anymore. Like now I think we need to write vertically, because now that we have like vocals in the band, it can't just be like guitar driven the whole time.
Right.
So it's like we need to write like a section or two and then be like, what are you hearing like for vocals here? And then maybe based off that vocal melody, we're going to find something, what to do for the next section.
Interesting. That's actually a unique way of doing it. Cause I mean, so thinking with vocals in mind, like usually like what Anthony right now, he's having to like figure out like patterns and stuff over the music and stuff, but
not
like
really doing that. We're just writing words still, but yeah, that's gonna it's
you know
what it
I'm
is.
saying, you're gonna have to though.
I know what you're gonna say is is the music is a solid thing that is handed to me, and then I write the words, and Casey and I figure out how we organize the words, and then things happen while you're recording as well too, where I'm like, oh, this phrase I could say it rhythmically a little bit different. So
what I'm saying is that's interesting to like
hear it from that perspective. Yeah.
Like opposite of like, okay, vocal, like I have this idea for a vocal part to come in after that part. That's like this.
I've never been part of the band where vocals were a thing that anybody was thinking about while the riffs were being written,
Yeah, because fuck you.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I've been in one band that was kind of like supposed to be like a more like radio friendly metal band, and we were just like, I remember me being told to like hold back a lot and make the riffs like a lot simpler and more open, and to have more like open ambient sections because there's going to be like a verse here or whatever. And I felt like very like restricted when I was in that band. And that was kind of a big turning point for me, where I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. I want to just start like an instrumental band and just go like in the prog direction.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you, is like was there bands that you were starting to listen to, or I wanted to know that missing link of touring with those types of bands that we had already talked about, like the hardcore metalcore style versus like that bridge to prog. I want to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, for prog, really, like I think what got me into prog was hearing Chimp Spanner. That was
damn.
That
Whoa,
was really like a turning point for me. I'd never heard anything like that before. And that was kind of like the deciding factor, was like, this is like what I want to do. Like, this is the kind of like music that I feel like I could express like the best, and just like instrumental. That's like when I got like an 8-string, and I think I started discovering more bands like Scale the Summit and Meshuggah. I was still listening to like death metal, like I feel like, if anything, Decapitated like really like shaped me as a player growing up. And even like the more techie stuff too, like Necrophagus, like I remember listening to like Epitaph like when that came out and being like, whoa, this is like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of those bands that kind of like started shaping me, and like Fear Factory, the really like fast rhythmic stuff like inspired me to like kind of get a more like extended range guitar and just try something different, so I had started my first instrumental band, and it was called what?
Sorry.
No,
Joel's still fucking his views sometimes.
Casey bounced and like had the view like that, and then like I unclicked it, and then we were all zoomed in like shit. But no, as far as like Fear Factory was huge for me coming out of new metal. Fear Factory, because of the 16th notes matching the double bass. Like like they were the first band to really do that. Like, let's be honest. Like that was like the Now, when I first heard that, I was like, holy shit, this is like the rhythmic part of it. And also like Soul of a New Machine like was kind of death metal. They were pretty more death metal. So it was kind of like
industrial style death metal.
And that's the reason why I got a 7-string in high school. I was like 2002 I got a 7-string, because I was like, well, Dino plays one, so that's like what I'm like going after right now, is that like kind of like heavy, like I think Obsolete just came out, but Fear Factory and Chimp Spanner is, it's funny that you bring that up. Chimp Spanner that was amazing. I mean, I remember when I was quick little stint in the beginning of Brain Drill, was me and Dylan like starting a project together, was Brain Drill, and we were like jamming together, and he was all about like that's like Chimp Spanner, but he's all about like like shreddy stuff too. But I'd never heard that style, and I think it was really ahead of its time, because that was a while ago when he showed me that. I was like, it's almost that Periphery, Meshuggah kind of like style of riffing, where I was like, like where is this band? Like what's going on? They're like this instrumental, like kind of before Animals as Leaders kind of style of band. And first time I've ever heard that brought up on the podcast. But yeah,
let's not forget about Frederick Thorndahl's Special Defects too.
Oh yeah,
that's one big key component for me too, that helped me understand what was going on. And dude, the drummer, or was he the drummer? No,
that dude, Morgan Acker, I don't even know. Anyways.
I think it's Morgan Argent, but we're saying it like Americans.
Morgan Argent. But anyways,
well, he was in that Matt's Morgan project. That's what it is.
Yeah, that was insane. So that inspired you too, though, Nicole, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like I actually discovered Chimp Spanner after I discovered Meshuggah.
I was kind of there right now.
Yeah, somebody had told me like, oh, let me show you like the guy who like originally kind of like ripped off like Meshuggah or Frederick Thorndahl or something. And then like I heard Chimp Spanner, and like I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that, because like the 8-string stuff, but he was like you said, I thought he was way like ahead of his time. And I'm like,
totally.
I'm like, this is the future. Like, why don't more people like know about this?
Yep.
So I kind of just went into like my prog phase for a while there, and like started this instrumental band called Meridium, and we put out an EP, and then like people, like we were getting these reviews, and like people were like, oh, it's like Opeth. And I knew who Opeth was, but I never really like dove in and listened to them. So I didn't know, and I was so tired of getting these like, oh, it's like Opeth kind of comments, and I'm just like, all right, let me just fucking listen to Opeth. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, yes. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is my favorite band in the world.
No, it's
And
fine.
like,
I think
to this
it's my
day,
favorite band.
and I'm like, people were like, I first started writing instrumental and people were saying it was kind of like Opeth or whatever. I mean, now I think like, no, it's not really like Opeth, but the fact that people were saying that was just like I think that's like kind of cool now.
It's amazing. Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, I was a late Opeth bloomer too. I think it was on tour with the
Yes.
Faceless and Mike showing me Opeth and stuff, and I was like, all right, so what's the deal? Like, what do I need to get into? You guys are obsessed. Like, I keep hearing the name brought up a bunch, and then he gave me Blackwater Park and Ghost Reveries. And
Blackwater Park's is it like the white and grayish cover?
Yeah, it's a dark, it's very dark. Or it's like a grayish. It's grayish. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Ghost Reveries. But yeah.
Very like foggy looking.
Foggy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And that album still to this day, I'm just like I'll listen to it and be like, they're the best songwriters. I think they're the best, like for a full song, like from front to back, like they bring you up and down, left and right, and they bring you like heavy and like
that's what I like is a roller coaster, dude. I mean, I'm wearing a Mr. Bungle shirt right now. I like a fucking roller coaster, dude.
Yeah.
And Opeth
definitely.
is a perfect example of a band that will take you on that roller coaster, dude. And I bought that Blackwater Park in Tahoe during the winter, so there's like snowing and shit, and
Oh, this is like the vibe.
And what's funny is I
totally.
bought it because it was on Coke Records, which is not even really a metal label, but Midian from Cradle of Filth came out, I think, on Coke. The Koch. I think that's how you're supposed to say it, though. Coke. I don't know. But I was like, oh, dude, this band's on that same label, and it looks kind of black metal. I thought it was gonna be a black metal band.
Yeah.
But then,
Opeth's logo and Cradle of Filth's logo both like bummed me out when I was a kid. I was like, I don't want to listen to that. That's like the weak stuff, right? That's like the sad stuff. I don't,
so
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I felt that way when Ghost first came out.
Oh yeah.
I saw them and like, what they looked like and like the logo, and I'm like, ooh, this like looks like it's gonna be interesting. And then like I heard it and I'm like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, it's Blue Oyster Cult.
I'm like, it's not for me. I appreciate it. I think they're like very forward thinking.
It's not for me anymore, but they got me for they got me kind of later. They got me on that not the last one that just came out, but the one before that. I finally like just the catchiness and popness of it. I was like, it was stuck in my head. My friend was like, they're playing in Sacramento. Do you want to go? And I was like, no. And then I was like, actually, I kind of want to go. And I went on their, this is a move, by the way. I'm not trying to give my secrets, but let's say it's a sold out show somewhere. You go to the Facebook page of the event, you go into posts, and there's a bunch of people that can't make it. They can't last second. I'm like sitting at work. It's 5 p.m. at work. The show starts at 7. I was like, I'm looking in there. I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to look. And the guy's like, I got front row tickets for $50. I can't get rid of them. And I was like, all right, I'll buy it. Like, I'll buy a front row ticket. And I thought it was bullshit. Bought it, met him, got it. And I showed it to the usher. He's like, you're in the front, like the very front. And I was like, oh shit. Like, and I went up there and I watched their show, like for the first time. Like I've seen like clips and stuff and music videos a little bit, but I watched it and I was like, this is like a fucking ordeal. This is like a huge production is insane. And it's funny and it's silly and it's serious and it had like everything going for it. And I was like, okay, well, they found the popular, like what to do. Like if you want to get like huge quickly, and like they nailed it. I was like, fuck, dude. Like the music stuck with me for a little while. And it was just kind of like catchy little like, like choruses and stuff. But I didn't want to like them. And I was like, fuck. And I have to tell people I like them now. I'm like, whatever. I kind of like them.
You can help it. Yeah.
I kind of like them. They're kind of weird though.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But same thing though. I remember like it's this Blue Oyster Cult kind of rip off with like a couple mixtures of like I don't know, like Merciful Fate, King Diamond stuff. I mean, obviously with the face makeup, but I was impressed. I was like, fuck. They found just these chord progressions that are just the most simple, like beginning pop music chord progressions, and they made these catchy songs and made it kind of fun. And
but they work.
Yeah, but they work and they're catchy and they're silly and they have this like thing about them that I was like, all right, well, I'm into it. Sorry.
All right. Fuck all the ghost talk now, guys. Like, Let's move on. We were talking about Opeth, way better band than that.
It's true. It's true.
But then we weren't even talking about Opeth. We were talking about
Nicole.
Nicole's band. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Weeds, out of the weeds, guys. We're officially out. Let's do it.
So you did a kind of like a instrumental kind of project, right? You were saying?
Yeah,
And
but it was really just like it was like a studio project. Like we never played any shows. I think because I just kind of had a bad experience from the previous band that I was in, that kind of like radio friendly metal band. It was like the first band that I had joined that like had like a manager and like an investor, and there were like people telling me what to write and how to dress and like really what to do. And I, was willing to like take that chance for the first time in my life doing music, because I'm like, you know what? I want to step outside the comfort zone. I want to like grow as a musician. And I want to do this for real, So I'm like, just tell me what to do and like I'll do it.
Mhm.
But I guess I just kind of learned that about myself, that I do not take direction very well. I
I
tend to
agree. I mean,
kind of
not with you, with myself. I'm just feeling you right now. I feel like I couldn't have people tell me what to do all the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, that didn't really work out for me because I felt like I was being held back as a musician. And we were playing like I had quit a band that I had started and was touring full time with for like 3 years to join this band and, let them like tell me what to do, and like how to play and everything. But we were just like playing local shows. And in my head, I couldn't understand like why we weren't touring, because I had always just been like, the DIY, like, why do we need to wait for a label? Why do we need to wait for a booking agency? Let's fucking book this shit ourselves. And like, that's how I toured. Like I booked our own tours, like in the US and in Europe. Like we went to South Africa. We paid for the record ourselves.
Can I cut you off for a second? Like, how it's just for aspiring bands and stuff that have this kind of like drive that you have, how do you, just the basics, like how do you start to book a tour for a band? Like what do you do? Do you call venues? Do you call promoters in every town, or what do you do?
It's very different now, but doing this like 12, 13 years ago, it was like MySpace and Facebook, like finding people
Networking.
in a town. Like you would find like a town, right? And then you would find like metal fans or people like in that town and be like, hey, do you know like who a promoter is, like who books at like venues in that town? And then they'd be like, oh yeah, like I have a friend, blah blah blah. And then like eventually you would get connected to this promoter that books in fucking, I don't know, Slovenia somewhere. And then they'd connect you and they'd be like, oh, you're an American band? Like, I mean, this was for Europe too, but like, you're an American band? Yeah, we'll book a show for you, and we'll do they did everything else. So really, like all the legwork was like the emails and digging and like finding these promoters like all over the world, and then everything else, like it ended up being like pretty legit, because they would get the rest of the bands together, and then when we showed up to that town, we would like see our flyers and tour posters like posted in all the coffee shops. And
so you
very
found the
like
right people.
guerrilla marketing. Very like guerrilla marketing. And I think it's much harder now that I've learned like doing this in my 30s and like starting a new band, where I'm just like please book my band, and like, no, I don't want to fucking sell tickets, like the fuck out of here.
Oh, I know. That's tough.
So
that's tough. I mean, especially like, and you have your market too with, I mean, that's like, you look at, I mean, let's bring up a dumb one, like an easy one, like Joe Rogan, like a person that's a comedian that goes out and has to sell comedian tickets. He started a podcast and he did his own thing. And like, you're doing the Twitch thing and you're doing things to kind of promote yourself now. But back in the day, you didn't have that though, right? So that was like
any of that. There was no like internet presence or anything. It was just like finding people to like help you really put together a tour and like fill dates. And
How would you show that you were worth something to them, as far as like, let's say like my band, we want to come out and do this, like what would be like the driving factor to be like, okay, I'm worth the investment?
Well, I remember like when I started that band, as a hardcore band called Through This Defiance. And we went into the studio and wrote and recorded an album and booked a world tour within 3 months.
Damn.
And yeah, I mean it wasn't too hard to write, it was like hardcore music.
Yeah.
And we went in.
The booking part, I'm just like, Jesus.
The booking part was like my full-time job.
Yeah.
I remember like I was like hostess, like, at night, like at bars, and during the day, all I did, I was just emailing and just finding venues and like routing shit, and that was my life, and I would basically make enough money to do van repairs and then buy merch and then go on the next tour. Like that was it.
Damn. That's crazy.
What's that sound? Is that Justin riding a horse in the background? Like I hear
it sounds like a motorcycle or something. Yeah.
We're trying to get our first horse cast, but
I know.
Yeah.
Carnivorous horse cast.
No, that's crazy to actually do that I mean, so many bands I hear stories of doing it like guerrilla, like on like, we're gonna fucking book everything, because we've been kind of spoiled. We've been like, oh, record label, okay, tour, okay, we're doing the thing, you know what I mean? Like it was like from a young age, and to have to like start and to do it like that, just, I mean, there's so many bands that, they want it, but like so many labels won't listen, and they basically will only base nowadays, it seems like, it's off your social media presence, or if you have a big social media presence, then maybe you can jump ahead of the game and maybe get on a tour or something like that. But like back then, it was just like that sounds like a nightmare to be like, we're worth it. Like, please, invest in our tour.
I think I just sent like promoters and stuff like the record.
Okay.
We just put out this record and we want to tour in it. And I think back then that was just like enough. Look at your streams or your fucking Spotify numbers or like, what.
Yep.
So it was a lot simpler. Now it's just like, why the fuck should I book your band and you're not going to sell tickets? Like,
yeah. It was like maybe like real metal fans, like people that wanted to bring music that they liked. They were like willing to do it back in the day. Like, oh, I like this, I want to bring it out. Now it's like, it's people that have kind of got the greedy, the green thumb, that are like, all right, well, how can I make money doing this? And I don't want to take any chances. I just want to make sure it's comfortable and clean and in and out. And yeah, I could see how that the shift over the time, has changed.
It's been very like eye-opening. Starting a new project like 3 years ago, and then the pandemic hitting. So all of our like first shows were supposed to happen in March of 2020, and they all got canceled. And then we're just like, okay, like we're this new band and like we haven't even played a show yet, and now like we can't play a show. So what do we do? Like, just put out an EP and just try to just push it out online and create content and everything. And then just whenever, I don't know, this pandemic thing ends, and just kind of pick up where we left off with trying to like book shows. And let me tell you, like, it's been quite the nightmare trying to
I bet.
book shows after a pandemic, being like a newer, like unsigned band, because all the venues are overbooked, or it's like, if it's any significant show, they want you to sell tickets. And I will never do that, because I just,
you've already put in the legwork to not do that.
I can't do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like fucking 21. Like, I'm not trying to, so, and I feel like I've done a lot of legwork online, like promoting myself, like on so many different channels and whatnot. And that's kind of what I got right now. And, we got these 5 shows coming up.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's talk about those.
We still got a venue. Yay. So fingers crossed. But those were very difficult to book, and I'm telling you, like, I've kind of just been that like annoying person to promoters, like, hey, like, please, like, book us, you know, like just get us like on a metal show, like get some, you need help finding bands, I'll help you find bands. Like,
Yep.
just give me like a date, I don't care if it's a fucking Tuesday, like we just need to get out there and play. So
Yeah.
I'm
Damn.
excited to finally, like, you know, do this like mini like East Coast tour.
So
And
do you
Awesome.
have the dates booked? Like, do you have like actual booked dates for the East Coast tour?
yeah, we're waiting on like a venue for one of them, but all the
Okay.
tour flyer is announced. So
Shit, I need to
that's
grab
like
it.
on my channels and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
That's dope. Are you hitting New York? Are you gonna go back and visit your
Yeah, that's
area?
where we're starting actually in Philly. And
Okay.
then we're going to like this other town in PA called Altoona. We're playing in Jersey at Dingbats. We're playing at Lucky 13 in Brooklyn.
Nice.
Forget
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, I think there's one more. Oh, Harrisburg. So actually there's like 3 Pennsylvania dates. So it's all like relatively close.
Nice.
So yeah.
And
So
you
you got
booked it? Did you book that yourself? Kind of like old school guerrilla?
Pretty much. Like we had help, like Zachy books at Dingbats, so that was like an easy one. And
Yeah.
then I found a promoter. I was originally trying to get us a show at St. Vitus, but they're just like booked up the ass, so that was really
Yeah.
difficult. So
right.
the promoter like suggested another venue, and that's Lucky 13. So, you know, I just
Mhm.
had to like find him.
Yep.
And then Rob from this band called Cognitive from New
Oh yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah.
They've been on here.
So Rob actually
Yeah,
helped
totally
me
did.
book the Philly date and the Harrisburg date.
Nice.
So that was kind of like a blessing in disguise. Like one of my really old friends in Jersey, Gutter, he throws like a lot of shows, like death metal shows in Jersey, and he directed me to Rob to like help me book stuff for like Philly and all that.
Sick.
So
Nice.
yeah, he helped me with that. But yeah, it was not easy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Like seeing the grassroots style though. I mean, that's like, you know, I've always just been like, whatever, just, you know, we're like, do
I've
the
definitely
thing.
been that guy too. Like, I just tell me where to go, dude, because I don't want to
Yeah.
deal with it. You
But to
know?
actually like to have the, you know, to have to go out and book it and then actually do it, that probably would have like more meaning. Each show would probably have a little bit more meaning, probably, if you had to like actually book the show and do the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
like the Jersey show is our show.
yeah.
Zachy is throwing that show. So that's like our hometown show. And then I'm gonna be streaming all of the shows. It starts
Oh
the
yeah.
June 24th to the 30th. There's a couple
Nice.
days off in between there. But yeah, I'm gonna be streaming like every show, trying to make it accessible to like, you know, my Twitch community and whoever else like wants to watch. So
That's super
yeah,
cool.
yeah, very
That's
much.
very cool. So we haven't even gotten into the band that we're talking about right now, as far as in the timeline, right? As far as
Well,
like
we
you,
brought him up, but I think we're almost to that.
yeah, we're like to that right now, right? Because you did the solo project, and then did that go right into Kallias?
Oh, my first instrumental project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went into Kallias after that,
Okay.
which really like I pulled my bass player from that. So this is
Mhm.
like the 3rd band that I've been in with him.
Okay.
I guess once if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh yeah, and now he's singing in Kallias too, and like fucking killing it.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I feel like he's just kind of, when he started doing that, I feel like he's kind of like our secret weapon right now, to be
That's
honest.
awesome.
Just adding that element, you know, because we didn't know we were gonna have vocals, and then when we decided that about a year and a half ago, after we filmed on No Cover, which is like
Oh
something
yeah.
we should probably talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got invited to be on this like TV show thing because I guess they needed an instrumental metal band, right? Considering who the judges are, there's like Tosin on the show, um,
Gavin Rossdale.
Gavin Rosdale, Bishop Briggs, Alice Cooper, Yeah, so they invited us to be on the show, and we're like, yeah, this could be fun, you know, like fly the guys out to LA, and I was already out there at that point.
Mhm.
And you know, we did it for like, you know, I think they were there for like a week. And that was actually like our first show. It was like playing on that show. We flew
Really?
song, but that was
So how long ago was that recording? Like how long ago?
it was February of last year.
Oh, okay. Because that just aired maybe like a month or two ago, right? Am I?
Yeah, the first episode aired like a little over a month ago, and then our second episode aired last night.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So your first show's on a
I've-
reality show,
Yeah.
and like you're like, and it's just airing just now, but it was a year ago or like a while ago.
But it happened
Crazy.
during COVID, you know, so it was like we're
Yeah.
like, oh, this will be like, you know, pretty good promo for like, you know, we're gonna release a single like that summer, and we didn't know we were gonna have vocals on it. We just kind of decided that after doing the show, and like everyone was like, oh, you guys should really like add vocals to your band, and you know, we thought about it, and we're just like, all right, you know, let's start looking for a vocalist. And we were like talking to like a few people, and you know, a couple people said, oh, they're gonna do it or they're gonna try out, and we're just like, it's like a really weird time for bands in the pandemic, right? Like everyone's rethinking their lives, like, oh, do I want to like even be in a band anymore? Like, let alone do I want to start a new fucking project? Like,
yeah.
So it's not very promising, right? Death metal, prog metal, whatever. It's really, you have to just love.
It's a love. It's a passion.
Yeah, you just have to love doing it. There's really no promises, and you know, it can also just be like a fucking money pit. So I get it. So really, like, I'm just like, you know what? I don't like waiting around for people. I like to just get shit. So I'm just like, why the fuck? Like, let's just do it ourselves. I'm like, I know Chris knows how to sing. Like, I've heard him sing before, and like, I'll learn how to scream. Like, how hard could it be?
Yeah.
It was fucking hard.
Oh no, that's what I was going to ask you. That's what I've been holding on to this question. Like while we're talking about this, is like you being a guitar player and going from, you know, like playing guitar and instrumental kind of style to learning how to play like kind of like proggy technical death metal, prog metal music and sing. Like I'll even just like in my head, just joking around like at a stoplight, I'll be like, hear a pop song and I'll pretend like I'm doing a chord and try to sing the song I'm hearing, air guitaring, and my brain is just like my hand will just stop. And I'll be like, yeah. Like, that's exactly how I do it. But it'll just my brain won't like it just it like cuts off the cord between the two things. Like it just cuts it off, and my hands all of a sudden are like, what's going on? It's focused on my voice now, and then I'm like, oh, I'm in my hands, and I'm back on my hands, and then like
it's like Christian who had the actual physical response where his finger would just
well, it's like
up.
doing the singing while you're playing guitar just sounds like a nightmare to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's never been able to click. It's like a polyrhythm.
And I kind of like had immediate regret when it came time, like when it came down to actually doing that.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck did I sign up for? I had already written the lyrics. We already like agreed we're going to do this. And I had been practicing vocals. And then I'm like, okay, now I got to just play the song and sing at the same time. And I felt like retarded.
Yeah.
I was like, my mouth was doing these weird things and I was trying to play. And I'm like, these riffs aren't even hard. Like, why can't I? But, you know, what do they say? Like, practice makes perfect.
It's like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time.
Exactly. If you did that every day, you'd shred it. I mean, I could still do it. But like,
you could do it, but then switch it once you start doing it, dude.
I mean, that's go ahead.
I also shot myself in the foot because I wrote the lyrics without the guitar in my hand. So the lyrics, the vocal patterns to Supermassive, the first single we put out,
separate in your brain.
They're different patterns.
Yeah.
So I had to like learn how to like, you know, vocally do one pattern while playing another. And it was just like, it was such a nightmare. And like, you know, and even just like learning like how to scream too. I'm like, all right, I need to try to do this. And when I first started trying, I'm like, you know, I'm watching YouTube videos, like, oh, I don't want to like blow out my vocal cords, whatever. There's like a way to do it. And I'm like, oh, you know who fucking does vocal lessons is fucking Rasta from Decapitated. I'm like, let me hit him up. Like, you know, he like we chat here and there or whatever. He knows who I am. So I hit him up. I'm like, hey, like, do you think you have time to like kind of give me like a few pointers, whatever? And he's like, oh, he's like, when are you like tracking? And I'm like, in 3 months. He's like, don't worry, like I'm gonna get you ready.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
So like, you know, he offered to like give me these lessons, and I would meet with him once a week, and he was teaching me like the exercises, and then like how to like you know, build more lung capacity, because I was having problems like finishing sentences. Like I would run out of breath, and I'm like, I'm like running out of breath. I feel dizzy, you know. So he was teaching me like these exercises to just kind of like build my lung capacity, and yeah, it got me ready to track Supermassive. And you know, fast forward like a year later, we just put out our second single with vocals, and tracking that was like a piece of cake, and it felt so good.
That's
And
awesome.
even like tracking the rest of the record, like going in the studio and like, you know, I don't really think anything of it. I'm just practicing, like, you know, in my fucking car like 2-3 times a week. That's like where I can practice vocals. And I guess
You
I just
sound
had
like
to
me.
hear it.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I in my car
Yeah.
2-3 times a week.
So like hearing it like from my bandmates, like, oh wow, like your vocals like sound so much better, and like everything sounds really like consistent, and I was tracking things in like 1 to 2 takes tops, and just like nailing it and not feeling like tired, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this like all this practice is like finally paid off. Like I feel like I can do this now. You know,
That's
so
crazy. I mean, just even the fact that you're learning how to do that and then learning how to play guitar while doing that. Because for me, I know my voice is trash. And when I was telling you about like me joking around or just in the car doing it, I wasn't sounding good. Like I was just trying to link my brain to
You did
do.
some backing vocals in Odious live, dude.
Not
Every now
really,
and then, dude.
Not really.
That's
another thing.
The joke for Joel was we would always
Yeah.
put a mic at his place, dude, and then we're just like, dude, just do some backing vocals, dude. And he would
And I
do
was
it
like,
every
yeah,
now
I'll
and then.
down. I'll do it. I'll just do the backing vocals. And the part would come up. I'm like, well, it's a riff that's like that. Like, I'm not doing backing vocals. I'm just not doing
I had never
like,
even done backing vocals before. Like, I mean,
that's
if,
insane.
like
How
2 years ago, like if you put a microphone in front of me, I don't know what the fuck to do with it. I'd be like, get that thing out of my face. Like, I have nothing to say.
Right.
If you
You
had to
know?
give like
Hold on.
if you had to give like a pointer to someone that was like playing guitar and they wanted to do the same thing, they can't find a vocalist or something like that. How do you work on like a really quick pointer? Like, how do
dude,
you work on that?
you gotta pay the guy from Decapitated to teach you, dude.
Well, I mean, Ralph's just like a winds of creation. Like he's not gonna tell you how to like
wait, that was like reggae stuff. That was
No,
like
that's Ralph.
Rastafarian, dude.
I toured with Ralph, and he would do reggae versions of Decapitated songs.
Oh,
Winds of
dude,
creation.
really?
I know.
That
But
totally sounds like a Rasta album too.
oh yeah, he's all super into reggae. But the thing is, that's just teaching you the vocals, though. That's not teaching you how to play. Like she's learning the vocals, how to do the vocals, and then do that with like I mean, to play guitar at the same time live is insane.
I kind of tailor like after that, after like shooting myself in the foot and writing a totally different pattern on Supermassive, I learned my lesson, and I'm like, okay, now I need to write vocals to the riff and like make my life easier.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, because now I'm on double duty, and so I was like strategically writing patterns that made like I would have the guitar in my hand, and I would play the riff, and I'd be like, okay, dun, 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 and then I would like work it out. And like, is this possible? Like, can I do this? And now like I can do it like on all the songs, but I will say that I do have like a performance version of one of the riffs in the new single, Disembodied, where I'm actually not playing what's being recorded. I'm playing like a simpler version because it's this really weird time signature. It's like a 2-2-3 fucking pattern. And what I did vocally on that part was just dragging out words, but I couldn't like do those trems while dragging out those words. So I'm just like hitting those notes while like screaming those words. But
that reminds me of we had a alluvial on, Wes.
I was waiting to see if I could squeeze that in, but go for it.
Yeah, doing the 40 stories, he's doing like kind of this weird, how he said like a Russian style, like that opening of 40 stories, but he had to like sing over it. It's like kind of like almost like do that kind of like Macedonian kind of singing behind like doing that riff. And he's all, I don't even know if I can fucking do it, dude. It's like on the video he's playing a chord. He's all,
yeah.
He's like, he's not doing it, but like on the actual song, it's him like doing like finger pick, like insane riffs. I'm like,
so he nailed it, right? When you saw him, right?
I didn't pay attention to that part. It sounded great though. I know. Jesus.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone can fucking be Muhammad, right? And I think I was like beating myself up over that, like, oh, like it's possible, but I'm like, I'm not fucking Muhammad. Like I maybe need to tone it down a little bit, and like it's okay to just like, have a performance version of something, like if it's gonna make my life easier. But honestly, that was also to something that Zachy wrote. So he wrote that riff. So I was kind of forced to like figure out the patterns on top of that. But for everything that like I wrote, like I feel like pretty good about, because I know like the riff like 110%, and then like writing like patterns to that like is fine. It's like much easier.
That's why that makes more sense on you talking about writing vocals first, because you're like, fuck, I gotta play guitar too. Like I gotta like write a part that vocals will make sense over this, because as far as like the time frame of just like you learning vocals and having to like, cool, we're gonna go on to Tosin's and Ash's show, and like,
which by the way, let's tell people where you can go see that. Where
where is that?
It's on the Sumerian Records YouTube. So the show is called No Cover, and it's about just a bunch of bands that are competing for like a record deal with Sumerian and like some other stuff. And you basically just play a song
and play your own music, no
covers.
You
play your own music. That's why it's called No Cover, because you don't play covers. You just play your original music, and then you get judged on that. And then they give you like all this advice. And we went to like a mercy council where like it was like Blasco and Ash, the owner for Sumerian. Who else was there? I think the owner of like Roadrunner as well. And they kind of like evaluate like our performance. And then, they were the ones that like were kind of suggesting like what we should do.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know like, I don't remember who it was, but like one of them was just like, they're like, how come, like, they looked at me, they're like, how come like you're not like in the center, like you're front and center? And I'm just like, well, I'm like, why do I need to be front and center? Like I'm like equal with everybody else. Like
they kind of got that. I mean, from the clips I've seen, it's kind of the not to put it like what's that, American Idol kind of thing, where they're like, why isn't it called the Nicole's band?
Image is important.
That's not what we're doing.
No, totally. And I've seen them. I remember a clip I watched, because I was looking for because you posted it on your story, and I was like, oh fuck, I want to watch that. But it wasn't actually posted yet. But it was like another band I watched like one or two other bands go, and they were like, you over there, you should be the guy that like does everything. And then this band, like, fuck them. Like they just like kind of say that in front of everyone. I was like, I mean, possibly, but that's the like the American Idol approach. Just like,
but that's like the cutthroat.
Like,
that's the cutthroat aspect of that part of the music industry. It is like you gotta cut any ties we tell you if you want to be a star.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I definitely like, we took a lot of their advice. I mean, mainly by adding vocals. And then of course like there's kind of like more extreme vocals than there is plain singing. So naturally I did take the fronting role. But like we actually, like, some of the newer material that's unreleased, there's a couple songs where like Chris has more lines than I do, and I'm like backing him. And he's kind of found this voice where, man, it almost sounds like a heavier, like Linkin Park kind of.
Interesting.
Like he found this like weird, like kind of gritty, tonal, like yelling, and I'm loving it. I think it totally fits like the new stuff that we've been writing, and like I'm kind of like doubling him on some lines to make it sound like a little more aggressive. So
totally. No, I actually, did a deep dive today. Just work has been crazy for the last few days, but I did a deep dive. I've been drinking, I can't speak, but I did a deep dive on you guys today. Just like listened to you guys for like about an hour and a half or something like that, and I definitely noticed the amount of there's so many influences in there. Like there's it goes from like there's a Meshuggah part, and then there's a part where the like I said earlier, like the bass break was kind of like jazzy, kind of like getting into like more prog stuff, and I kind of broke everything down. And there was a part that was like complete, like then there was like a catchy fucking chorus that like came in with like the singing. That was like maybe the Linkin Park thing you're referring to. And then there was a part that was like a straight up just like prog metal riff, like a guitar, like everyone's like I could just see everyone like in my head just headbanging to, groovy kind of like this jammy riff. And I was like, damn, I was like, usually I'm like listen to a band, they're like a death metal band, I'm like, oh, they're very influenced by this band and this band. All right, I'm out. It's kind of like how like I usually take things. And I was listening in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I hear the influence here because like I'm trying to relate things to things when I'm hearing a band for the first time. Like,
it's very natural. We all do.
It's natural to make like it's not like going like they just stole from this. I'm not doing that.
It's a familiarity like thing where we want to feel like what we're listening to like reminds us of something and is like
exactly
familiar. We're always like thinking of. I mean, I feel like I do this all the time with Justin when he's writing. Like I'll hear him write a riff and I'm like, oh, that's like this riff from that.
Yeah, actually, in the whole like his band and seeing Corruption and stuff, obviously there's a huge influence there, but like that style of death metal, like of not to change subjects, but I was like just noticing watching Corruption, I was like, okay, this is why they're doing this, and Entheos and stuff like that. I'm like, there's like a bunch of these breaks and stuff, and I was like, okay, like I kind of felt like I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like some sort of it really cut through live where I was like, oh, it's not just like and gnarly.
Taking it back to Decapitated, like that.
That's where it started, probably.
I think that Corruption is like
Spheres,
the perfect example of a band that jumped into that wake or that path that Decapitated just splintered off of the line a little bit, like if we're talking the death
Spheres
metal
of Madness,
tree
that changed
life,
everything.
like there's a
splinter, my life.
There's a decapitated branch that happened, and then this, the other branches happened off of that branch, and then now we're here with what we're talking about, and I think that right now, I think although all the stuff that Decapitated is classic, great, whatever, I think that like there's a lot of people that are starting to really hone that part of that, and they're becoming those
it's like
little
Meshuggah.
It's like this branch that I mean, dude, it gets really complex, but all you need is just one little branch to connect, and then boom, we got connection.
Yeah, I feel like our the first music video we put out, Black Dream, that was like my Decapitated song. That was like very like riffy. I'm like, this is like all like Decapitated. But then of course I added like a clean section and like a little
you gotta make it yours.
Yeah.
The whole thing is
the riffiness of it was just like
and to the like how you naturally compare bands as soon as you start hearing it, it's because nothing is new. So we all got the same clay. What are you gonna do with that clay?
Oh, yeah, it's like I think I heard Michael Ackerfeld like said, we're basically products of our record collection.
And why not? It's like everybody says I want to make something that I want to listen to. Well, you got a pile of stuff that you love to listen to, then that thing's just going to be on that pile too, or represent that pile, I got a little bit of this clay, a little bit of this clay, but it's all just, there's a finite amount of clay. I think, I mean, I'd love to see somebody say breaking news, breaking news. We have a new form of music.
Yeah. I think the only way is through like electronic like noises that only cats can hear or something.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, dude, in the those dog whistles like on that frequency. Like, what if there is like there's like origin times 1,000 at that level?
It's like you need like
that's
certain
coming
like
through from the 17th dimension.
I think this is my future prediction. So we're gonna have to have like certain like things over our ears to hear certain frequencies, and if you don't have the things that hear the frequencies, then you can't hear the song. It's like this new. It's like 50 years from now. Like, oh, dude, you can't hear it. Well, you're not cool enough. I don't know. Like, you don't have the ear. You don't have the ear pad. The eye ear, dude. Like,
you don't have the eye ear, dude.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even like. It doesn't even need to necessarily be like music that influences you. Like, it could be
that's true.
Like a certain experience, or even just like a random like sound that you hear, you know, or some sort of like beat or whatever that you hear that isn't coming from instruments.
Right.
You know,
I work in an automotive shop. There's tons of rhythm that happens in that shop all day. I hate it. It's loud as shit and I don't fucking like it, but it's rhythmic.
You start thinking of like riffs and like
I can tap in and actually be like, all right, my headphones are dead. How am I gonna fucking move through the next half hour until they're charged up again?
Well, even a fucking blinker at a stoplight, like you got let's all tick tick tick. You get like ideas from a blinker or like a little noise going.
Yeah. Like, did you ever get into Skinny Puppy at all? Like industrial stuff?
Dude. I like fat kittens better, dude.
You guys ever listen to Skinny Puppy? You know?
No, I'm allergic to kittens. What am I talking about? No, I never really got into it, but I know what you're talking about. Like rhythmic industrial music, right?
Oh, there's like videos of them live and shit, and like fucking
fucking hitting the fucking sledgehammer,
like anvils and shit, or like a tire iron and like a or like chain sawing like a or I don't know, like some metal. Like
I know, totally,
something
dude.
live, like a part of the song and shit.
Well, Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, dude. They had a you guys don't like that band. You guys you should listen to it. It's heavy as shit. Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. Well, I think I brought him up last time and everybody giggled at me, last time. What? I've
never heard him, but I heard.
Hey guys, it's a podcast where I've been drinking. Where's that Anthony Drunk hashtag, dude?
I know this is
we're being lazy about that. You're right. We got to bring that back.
They have a drummer, but they also had a guy that would just play like found objects, dude.
Yeah.
In the arms of
I clicked a random one. But
you could just pick shit out of a junkyard and start beating it like a saw and a flipped over sink. Just beat that shit with the.
It's like Bjork, dude. Bjork, my mom would always like back when I was a little kid. She showed me this video she had of her just crushing snow, and that was like the sound she used
right up against like the microphone.
Yeah, and that was like
it's like ASMR before everybody started calling it ASMR.
I don't even know what ASMR is, dude. I'm a boomer.
I don't know. It's like, isn't it like?
It's like girls that go to the microphone and they're like,
oh
yeah.
I randomly saw that on Twitch. That's so funny, Nicole. You bring that up. I randomly like saw like a person with like a weird mic, and I clicked it on Twitch, and it's just people going. Yeah. The whole time, and there's like 9,000 people watching, and they're like,
"Here's the thing."
Yeah, exactly. There's like 9,000 people watching.
They're going like,
yeah, like,
of course.
They're just like, I can't look away because I'm.
So that's ASMR. That's ASMR.
Yeah, I don't even know what it stands for, but I just know that it's like, or it's like
audio. I don't know.
Audio stimulation.
Or it'd be like words like you wake people like Bert Kreischer. So it said it on a podcast. He has words of affirmation that he plays in the morning where it's like, "You're doing great, buddy."
Oh my god. Oh, I used to do this thing on my channel. I would have, well, I still technically have it as a point redemption, where I would do like either a vocal playthrough from something on my song list, but I live with my sister and she has a baby. So like he's always sleeping throughout the day. So sometimes like, I couldn't scream. So I would put vocal playthrough / whisper through of like, a fucking DM track. And it became like this thing, this like funny thing where people were just calling it like like death metal, like ASMR, because like I would just like pick like a
Casey,
song.
I know Casey is giggling right now. Okay, keep
and
going.
I would just whisper. I'd be like,
The whisper tracks.
and it would just all be like whisper, like
yeah.
whisper screams. But
Oh, Casey will do that too for like.
That's how we talk. That's how we talk. That's how we create this.
Casey will have like a rhythm, a vocal rhythm, be like.
Oh, I do that too. No, I still do that. Justin,
Yeah, I mean,
to do that.
Yeah,
He was
dude,
like,
if you,
like
I know I'm giggling. It's
Dude,
not even that funny,
dude,
but it is
patterns.
just funny that we're
If
bringing
you-
this up.
if you do the whisper cup, it's like gnarly. You know, you're all like,
Oh yeah,
you
dude, Casey can make it pretty fucking gnarly, dude.
Yeah. That's not at all like
Whisper cup.
Ace Ventura fucking
whisper cup, dude.
Yeah,
The whisper cup, dude. That's
Yeah,
this is
Sorry,
so
my eyes
awesome.
are, like,
Well,
having allergies
you
or
know,
something.
this is just another thing that's showing me that like no matter where you're at or what you're doing, like we find these common ways to translate what we're thinking to the other people that we're trying to create music with. So it's like there isn't any language other than like, you know, how many times have we tried to do riffs on this show with your mouth? You know, it's like a common thing. I think it was like on the bingo card where it's like somebody does a riff with their mouth or whatever, mouth noises, and you're just like, yeah, that's how we translate the thoughts that go in our head to the next person that maybe be able to bring it into this reality because I can't.
The best was what's it called? Dallas from Nile was like, because we called it like death metal talk or something like that. He's all, oh, you mean Riffinese, dude?
Riffinese, yep.
He's all, you speak Riffinese?
That's exactly what I was just saying, dude. I'm like, Riffinese, dude. That's so sick, dude.
Oh, like the language.
Yeah, it's like a language of death metal. Because he had like Zans. He's all Zans. That's how Dallas like he goes Zans. Like,
and we speak like, digga.
And we were like, I was like, and like Matt Sotelo was like, jun 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 chicka jun jun. That's how, and like he's more of a Zan versus a jun jun. You know, it's like it's different dialects. The Riffinese,
different dialects, exactly. Never used a Zan. Mine's like
it's East Coast dialects.
It's East Coast.
See,
it
really
is.
Like
West Coast.
Yeah. We use Juns, dude. We're junning.
Juns and diggas.
Yeah. But Matt he'd always do like the finger thing on the you know, like on a table.
Oh, the double finger.
Yeah. And he'd be like, and then he's got the snare, so he'd be like,
look, he throws with the
That's another person, Nicole, that you talked about your like background in music and not knowing like theory and stuff. Like he doesn't know pretty much anything. He knows as far as like he's just kind of like what the patterns he's learned and stuff like that. And he's I remember asking him about it. I'm like, how the fuck are you writing all this shit like not knowing anything?
Well, he just goes I mean that's it.
Yeah, but no, it's not very common to be writing that kind of music or like just prog in general. Like
totally.
People always tell me they're like, how did you write that then? You don't know like any theory? I'm like, I fucking have ears, motherfucker.
Yeah. That's what he said.
That's it goes all the way back to your adolescence's ears. That's
that's what he said. He's all you know, like I can hear it, so I want to play it. Like I hear it in my head and I want to play it. And then versus like if I couldn't hear it, then I'd want tools to help me. And that's for him. He's all, that's what I've kind of learned. Theory was like to kind of like when I'm at a place where I can't understand what's going on or want an idea or something like that, like I'll use kind of like a chord progression or something like that to like when he's learned it later, but he's like, you'll learn, like you can either have it come out of you like naturally, or if you can't like, you know, like come up with something, then you'll just be like, okay, well, the scale's this and these chords are this, and then like I'll work with that and like use theory as like a constructive tool like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's cool also like when I don't know, like with Diego and Joseph playing with Diego from Discourage and like doing a lot of that stuff, like I saw him learning those songs and everything, and like he'd be like, dude, there's these parts that just like the time just is just, I don't know, like it just breathes, you know. And Diego would just be like, you just have to like feel it like with him, you know. It's kind of just, there's no like, you know, it's not like to a grid or to a click. You got to just like these like slows down like the tempo dynamics, like
it's gotta feel it.
Just kind of how you go into that riff. It's got to be this right way. And there'd be times that they're playing and he's like, almost. He keeps saying like it's close, but it's gotta. You can tell he's like it's gotta just do this certain pocket that's all feel. And so it's like to explain that like theory. It's not. I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's its own theory, but it's like it's from. It's like time can breathe in music, you know.
Totally.
So that's the theory is like the time breathes, but it's like
no, I think it's to a click
with the musician. Like you kind of have to like dig it like with the person there. Kind of. It's
if the number one is infinite, you just keep slicing it. Before 2, there's so much space in there. You just gotta find your little spot where you're gonna really drop that note. Oh, dude, fucking rage, bro. Fucking hit that wave, bro. I mean, fucking Cali Death podcast, palm trees, bro.
Yeah.
Tired. Oh my god, that's awesome.
I'm having a blast with you guys and gals right now.
Oh, same.
Fuck, did we I did not. First of all, Nicole, you coming on here, the chat, I remember within the first like 3 minutes we were on, it was like I was on a different screen, so all 17 chat like messages. So I was like, what the fuck? So there's probably a lot on here for you, but there's like 1.8 billion comments. I wanted to do like a question section.
Oh yeah, if there was any like questions or whatever, anybody.
Yeah, right now there's
people on there. I mean, the chat's been going pretty good, but I think there was some questions in there that we haven't really.
There's this one. What do you think about this one? Answer this one.
What up, Troy?
What's up, Troy?
That's what's up, dude.
Troy helped me set up the Kallias merch store.
What was it called? 15 camera Fullerton. That's what they called him earlier. 15 camera Fullerton.
Oh my god. Okay, here's one. Here's this. For right now, what's your biggest inspiration? Like musically, what's new that's coming out that's a big inspiration?
Oh man, you know, like, not to be like super corny or anything, but I pretty much like I kind of get inspired by Justin like every day. Not to be listening. I was not listening right now. But yeah, it's very easy to get inspired by like just how in depth like the stuff is that he's writing right now on so many different levels, not just death metal, because it's like even beyond that. You know, so it's definitely been very inspirational, like kind of seeing his writing process. So yeah, where do we go from there?
Cool. No, I just think that's cool to be like.
That's very cool.
To be that's another thing too that I'm starting to see that is totally working for a few groups of people, like Stabbing. They're 2 couples that work together, and they have a unit that works. So they're not only that's like a double version of like something that is more rare than you would think. 2 couples that actually outside of their relationship contribute to something else, you know, like Entheos, Naveen, and Cheney. That's a solid unit. You and Justin, solid unit. I'm like, yes, we're seeing all this against the grain stuff right now, and I'm loving it. You know,
I want the story about how you guys. You said only a couple years ago. In my brain with you guys, just knowing you guys as friends and stuff. In my brain, you guys have been together for like 10 years. So you said only a few years, right? So how did you guys meet?
2 years, yeah. We actually met like during lockdown when I had to move back to LA. Okay. So I didn't even know, like, I mean, I knew about Zenith Passage, but I've been friends with Rob like forever.
Oh yeah, me too.
Just didn't know like who else was in his band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like Justin and I would just like started like talking on IG or whatever, like just random like guitar shit. And I was in like Long Beach at the time, and he's like, oh yeah, like, I live in like San Pedro, like if you ever want to like jam or something. And I'm just like, yeah, like, okay. Yeah, I tend to like bypass like invitations like that because I'm just like really stubborn. And I ended up like I was climbing a lot that summer of COVID. So I was somewhere climbing like every weekend with my friends. And one weekend we were in climbing out in Sedona. And I remember Justin messaged me and he's like, hey, do you know of any like, places that I can go hiking where it's just like not too hot right now? And I'm like, well, you check out like Idlewild, that's kind of by Palm Springs. It's really close to LA.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm in Sedona right now. Like, it's pretty sick here because it's at elevation. So, and then he's like,
Arizona?
Sedona. Yeah, it's in Arizona.
I'm sorry. I'm having a big synchronicity right now because my wife was just like, there's some pretty dope places in Sedona that, you can get some good deals right now, like literally before this fucking podcast. So,
oh, really?
This is how my life works. So, now after this podcast, I'm going to tell her we're fucking going to Sedona. Don't fucking tell me no. It all happened. Right. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I was just throwing out like suggestions or whatever, because I'm always happy to like tell people like where to go in the outdoors because I've just like been everywhere and that's what I love to do.
Mhm.
And he's like, oh yeah, like I've always wanted to go there. He's like, I think I'm actually just gonna drive there. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, feel free. Like I'm out here climbing with friends, but you're welcome to come like hang out, or if you want to try to climb or something, like we got all the gear and all that. And yeah, he ended up like driving out, and we like officially met, and just talking about fucking guitar shit, and the rest is kind of history. Like we started jamming, we started like writing this kind of like proggy stuff. Like I guess like I inspired him to get an 8-string build with Kiesel.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
And he inspired me to get a 6-string because I didn't even own a 6-string.
Wow.
So we were kind of just showing each other stuff, and then like we wrote like a bunch of songs together, and we started doing those like those little DM quickie songs. It's like 1 minute like DM songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like posting that like on my YouTube. We had Derek on one of them, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it was all there, and it was like super fun. And
you said climbing. What kind of climbing? Rock climbing?
Yeah, I rock climb, I ice climb.
Yeah, you gotta follow her on Instagram.
What?
You gotta follow her on Instagram. Like
I mean, I just recently started following her.
Yeah, you'll see like random stories. She's like fucking
yeah.
like fucking climbing up the sketchiest thing with, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where are you right now?
Climbing? What the fuck? Ice climbing?
Yeah, I use like ice axes and like.
You're so much more savage than I'll ever be.
That's like my favorite thing to do.
Okay, well, ice climbing. Okay, maybe I would start rock climbing first.
Yeah, probably.
Right? I think I started both.
Go right into ice climbing.
Let me go do a few years of rock climbing, and then maybe I'll have a different answer. All right.
Yeah, I started in the same season. Like I think I started rock climbing one summer, like when I was in New York, and then like 12 years ago, and then like that winter I was like, I want to try ice climbing now, and then like I've just gone like every season since then.
What's the sketchiest? Okay, let's hear the sketchiest shit that ever happened to you in all this.
So many times.
Definitely in Alberta, in Banff, one winter. I was climbing Lake Louise Falls, and we had just arrived actually that morning, and I was with my girlfriend and one of our other girlfriends who had never climbed before, but she just wanted to come to Alberta and like try it. She wanted to just tag along with us.
Yeah.
It was like 4:00 and we were in the area, and I'm like, why don't we just like go do the first pitch of like this, this like 4-pitch climb, which is like,
it's like the bunny slope if you're snowboarding or skiing. Like it's just it's above that.
It's how long a climb is. Like if a climb is longer than the length of, or half the length of your rope, which ropes are usually 60 to 70 meters long. If the climb is longer than that, you have to break it up into pitches. So you got to stop, because otherwise your belayer, whoever's holding your rope at the bottom, will run out of rope, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's this 4-pitch climb, and I'm like, why don't I just do like the first pitch and come down just to kind of like get a feel for the ice here. And 4:00, end of the day, fucking winter, right? Great idea. What could go wrong?
Jeez.
So, and mind you, it was minus 14 Fahrenheit.
Oh.
So, you know, I had the foot warmers and everything, but I don't recall them really making a difference.
Working, yeah.
At that point.
Again, much more savage than me. Go on.
So I go up and, you know, my girlfriend is belaying me. You put in ice screws as your protection. So there's no rope up there or anything. You take the rope with you, and then every, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 feet, you place an ice screw, and then you hook the rope to that. So if you fall, then like that ice screw is supposed to catch you. And I used all my ice screws, and then I got to the top of the first pitch, and I'm like, all right, it's time to come down. I need to build a V-thread, which is basically screwing 2 holes in the ice where they will meet at an angle, and then you place the rope through that, and that's your anchor, and you can lower off of that.
So you take the screws back out and you feed the rope through that?
Just one screw. You put one screw in, and then you kind of eyeball it. You put one on the other side, and then you can shove the rope in there, break down the hole, and then you can get lowered off of that. So it was so fucking cold that I put in my V-threader screw, and it froze midway into the ice. So I was like, oh shit. So I unscrewed it, and usually you can kind of like blow out the ice or kind of get it warm to where it'll come out. It's not happening.
Whoa.
So I basically had a screw that was frozen on the inside, had frozen ice. It was useless, and I had no other screws left. So I'm just like, how the fuck am I gonna fucking get
starting to get anxiety, guys.
Like, how the fuck am I gonna get down? I'm just like kind of figuring out, like, all right, this is like really bad right now. I down climbing is not an option. Don't want to fall here because I probably won't die, but I'll probably like break both my legs, my hips, or shatter my fucking spine or some shit. Like, all right, well, I guess like the only option, like I saw there was another pitch that went up to a tree, and I'm like, it looked rather short, like a short pitch. And I'm like, I guess I could just keep going up and make sure I don't fall, because if I get to that tree, I'll be safe and I can wrap the rope around that tree and rappel down from there. So that's what I did, and I didn't really tell my partner what was going on, but our friend, who had no fucking idea what was going on, was just like, yeah, she's still climbing. And Diane was like,
she's doing a lot of work up there.
She's like, you're past the halfway point on the rope, like meaning that she's running out of rope. And I'm like, I know, I have a plan. Just bear with me. And like, dude, every single swing that I swung my axes and my like crampons, like my boots into, was like so fucking hard, because I'm like, there's literally no room for error right now, because if I fall, like, it's over, and you know, this wasn't fucking worth it. Like, you shouldn't have started this late. Like, it's never climbed in minus fucking 14. Who would have thought the V-threader would have froze? You know, so I made it up to this tree, and I think there was already like a sling on it that somebody had left. So I threaded the rope through there, and I'm like, all right, I'm safe. You know, so I had to actually, like, you know, tie a knot in the rope there and leave the rope. So that was part of my plan. I'm like, the rope won't reach the bottom if she lowers me right now. So I have to leave this rope here in order to get down. You know, because it's like when you're past that halfway point, like if someone's lowering you, you won't reach the bottom. So the only way to get around that is to just have one line, the end of the rope at the top and the end at the bottom, and then you just rappel off that one line. So, you know, that's what I did. I got down, and I'm just like, we'll come back tomorrow and get this rope. I'm sure there'll be people here tomorrow that will like help us or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to like talk about it right now. I just want to like, I want to take these fucking boots off. I couldn't feel my feet.
Yeah.
My feet felt like bricks, and like when I, you know, took my socks off, one of my toes was black. So that was fun.
Oh shit!
That was a fun.
Is it still?
No, it's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine now. But it was like kind of a 6-month recovery on that.
This is a fucking story,
Jesus.
guys. I'm like,
insane.
I'm on every word on this one right now.
And
I mean, it breaks. I mean, pitches ain't, fuck. I had a pitches ain't shit, but ropes and trips. I don't know. I'm just trying.
oh wow,
I'm trying to.
You made
But no,
dinner?
that's crazy. That's insane.
Thanks,
My brain
baby.
wanted to do something like that.
No,
That's like such. So you do something like that, and you go through something like that, and you're like, yeah, let's do it again.
That's a new lease on life after that. You made it down.
You do it again after that. You're like, how does your brain clear? How does your brain like?
Yeah,
Men in Black,
didn't,
like red light
I didn't
flash.
start any climbs at 4 p.m. Let's just say that.
I guess you're saying when you like laid in your hatchets or whatever you had and your feet, you're like you really dug them in. Like that was your way of like giving yourself some strength at that point, like or like peace of mind at that point.
Adrenaline at that point.
That was peace of mind right there. Like, all right, I fucking drilled these fucking things in. Like, all right, now I can take it.
I have like 3 solid points of contact.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, I can take a fucking breath now and kind of reassess.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough.
Well,
but then okay, all right, let's wrap it up on one quick awesome story though, like how you. Oh, look at that! She's bringing out one.
Oh, now
cheers.
You do. Jesus.
Cheers. I know.
Cheers.
We're all
Cheers.
the degenerate cavemen that she's been talking to for almost 3 hours. You know.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Cheers. Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me like your favorite though, like how like
most
where
accomplishing,
like everything worked out, like boom, boom, boom. And side note, have you ever done the camping on the side of a cliff where you gotta?
No, I haven't. I haven't done the portaledge thing yet, like a multi-day.
That sounds pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
too.
Everything I've done, like I've been able to do, like start, maybe alpine start if it's a really long climb, like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then if you're like rappelling in the dark after that, it's already like a 12-hour day. So yeah, I've definitely done like a handful of those, like in Greece, in Jordan. I think like some of the longest climbs I've done were in Greece, actually.
You're living it up, man.
I have a request. Can you like stop climbing so you can keep making music and we can like see you play live?
No. Side note, I gotta ask this question: do they make snow climbing boots but in flip-flop form?
Oh my god!
Not a drunk coming in with the one that I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What did we say earlier? Walk the wop, flip the flop, or what? What was it earlier?
Yep.
Just climbing and this like flip flop falls on your head from the guy above you. Like,
oh my god.
No, those the what's it on Yosemite?
Sick
you guys were right there.
Shorts,
you guys were next to Yosemite.
Sick board shorts, bro.
What?
No, I was just going. Okay, Casey was saying. Sorry.
But no, that it's a free something. It was about free solo, the El Capitan, because it's like supposedly like there's like the easy one to take, and then they're like, we're gonna do the hard one, and they did like the hard. It's like a whole documentary, and then doing the hard one. They got the Dawn Wall. Yep, and how they like were stuck there, and like because they had to both make the jump. Like there was one jump where they were stuck to like get to the next spot, but they had their
it was like pitch 17 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a certain pitch. Yeah, it was a son of a pitch. But they were stuck there forever, like almost like 3 or 4 days, right? They were like, I have to almost give up. One guy made it, and the other guy didn't. So yeah. So Justin, what did you guys order? What kind of food did you guys order?
He cooked.
I cooked.
Good job.
The Mexican restaurant.
That
was closed, dude.
Oh, okay. What do you cook? Like what do you cook like in a situation like this? It's like looks like a very healthy rice bowl.
It's pasta.
He made. Can you see it? It's pasta with mushrooms.
All of the shit up here, dude. All the shit my grandparents have is like 10 years expired. I'm not even kidding, dude. It's it's like trying to find shit that's not expired and cooking it. It's a mission.
They like hold on to stuff. They're like, hey, check out this milk. It's still good. Actually, I get in these conversations with my roommate all the time. He'll like eat I look up like I cook chicken, I put it in a sealed thing, and it's in there. How long? I like search online. It's like 4 days. He's like, dude, like, I have uncooked chicken that's been there for like 9 days. I'm gonna cook it today. I'm like, stop being a bitch. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like
Food
that, but it's
poisoning
like
sucks.
2 years expired. It's been in the like a chicken's been in the freezer for like 2-3 years. And he's like, I'm gonna make chicken tonight. I'm like, dog, I ain't eating that.
Yeah, totally, dude.
He's like, you're like door dashing on the side. You're like,
yeah.
yeah, totally. I'm down to throw that in the trash.
Dude, there's this can of like canned salmon, and it's like so old that it's like the can is protruding up because of all the gas that's
But
filling
he
up.
won't get rid of it.
For lunch, I'm like, oh, I'll make like a tuna salad, or like he's like, oh, there's
He's like, I got you.
salmon. I'm like, perfect. And he gave it to me, and the the can was like ready to like burst. I'm like, how fucking old is that shit?
Oh no,
Jesus.
Oh my god.
God damn. Well, on that note, I'm actually I need to eat dinner pretty soon because
totally.
But Nicole Nicole, thank you for fucking coming on. Justin, thank you for fucking hanging out.
Yeah. This is super fun, guys.
Justin.
Yeah, no, I love how you
had
had the tiny fucking. I loved it, dude.
My favorite one.
This one.
I'm on Nicole's side. No, I represent. Oh, you throw.
That's like the drunk chick at the show.
Yeah, that's the hammered, the Aussie shirt. The Aussie shirt.
That's
the guy who's like who's in the back by the bar who's drank too much at the end of the show. He's just like this.
Yeah, so yeah,
it's like the ghoul hand. It's like it's all. My favorite, actually, Justin, one of my favorite videos that you posted is the one guy during Dragon Force that you're filming air drumming.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You need to solidify that on the internet forever.
He's like,
this guy going, he's playing like drums, super like it's like this old guy just like drum, and like Justin just moves the camera over, and this guy's just going after it, and the guy goes like this. He's all. It just looks back at Justin immediately, and Justin's just all like, God, and the guy's like, yeah, brother, because he knew that he got
brother.
caught.
Yeah, brother.
Dude, he just knew that I did it. I just thought I was gonna get jumped. He looked so upset. And I was like, yeah, dude, and then he just went crazy.
How can they look at your smiling face and want to jump you? Come on.
If you're making fun of him though, like
friendly Jesus.
But maybe you could tell that like
calls him like he looks like a friendly Jesus.
So what?
He does.
So what the shit? If we got both of you guys on, who the fuck do we raid right now? Who's on right now?
We'll raid Justin just for. Or we'll raid Nicole.
No, really. Is there anybody that we should raid right now? Just hit somebody.
I'm gonna raid probably Kevin Mueller. I don't know, he's playing video games right now. I'm watching. He's got a good Jira shirt on.
Who cares? Raid him.
He's playing video games.
Keep it in the fam, guys.
Do we know how to raid yet? We figured
it out
yet?
One. Oh,
Chainbrain's on.
Grant from Unleash the Archers is on.
Cali
I love that band. What's the screen name?
Oh wait.
It's Cali Death.
It's just Grant Truesdell UTA.
Grant. Everyone's gonna leave right now because like, who the fuck is that?
Here we go.
Nice.
Come on, dude. Jedi coming in hard, dude.
What's Jedi saying?
He's giving you the fucking spot. He's giving you who to go to.
Fucking
that was the person, right?
I fucking love Murray. Do I have to follow him?
There's the shit. Everybody's the shit, dude. The chat's
all right. I'm not gonna fuck this
tonight, guys.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Thank you, chat, for showing up. That was fucking awesome. And obviously, we got two fucking amazing fucking Twitch people on here.
That's what's up.
Nicole and fucking Justin are my favorite, like
and
top three fucking
and 3 green or missing 4, but 3 green Twitch guys that we're trying to grow to be your status, guys. So
this is a great podcast.
Thanks, dude.
I love you.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'll also say, I'm leaking this right now at the end. But
we'll take it.
We're releasing a new single and music video on the 17th next Friday.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yep. A week before the tour starts. And if anybody's on the East Coast, check out the tour flyer. It's all over my socials and the band socials and everything.
Oh yeah. I need to get. Do you have CDs out and stuff? Are you gonna get CDs and stuff?
No.
I'm drunk.
It's all gonna be digital, so you can stream it anywhere.
You don't have to announce that every time.
You want to spend money, buy it on Bandcamp, you know.
Well, I was gonna say like send me a couple, and I'm like, if you tap me 3 times on the shoulder and say Nicole,
tap me 3 times on the shoulder, I'm drunk, dude. Sorry.
That means you get a free CD. You have to go like
again to stream it. I don't want to spend money. I'm not doing
that. Pay me a free CD.
Hey, what the fuck's a CD? Right?
I still like CDs, dude. I just don't buy nearly as much as I used to.
Do you want 2 CDs?
Wait, what did you just say?
Do you want 2 CDs?
Of which one?
2 CDs nuts. All right, let's go ahead and
You walked right into that.
Do you want? Wait.
Oh my god.
Do you want to? Do you want to lay?
I'm gonna go and raid before you
want to
get
lay. Do you want to lay? Zer dick.
Oh, girl, do you want
callback? That's the biggest callback of this fucking episode. Don't even fucking.
Girl, you want a tiny? I'm just kidding. All right. Oh my god! Thank you, Nicole.
Dude, I had a great time with you guys. Justin, you were a big plus.
Of course. Anytime you want to come on, you or Justin, everyone. I mean, Derek is disallowed forever. I'm just kidding. No, he's one of my best friends. But
you guys
no,
gotta have Chris on.
Yeah, Chris.
Chris has been like.
He said 110%. He said
110. It's gonna happen. I know we got a few slots that.
Oh, Christopher Beatty.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No, definitely not.
Well, he was always waiting for the Dreamer shit to drop. He was waiting for the Dreamer shit to drop, and then
trying.
That we were talking about that Splinter. He splintered off a little bit, and he's
still. What's going on?
I'm gonna. There's a really large bug.
You don't like bugs.
Okay. Hey, go inside.
Go fucking kill it for her, bro. You're her hero right now, dude.
Why don't you go pee on it?
Put your salad down and fucking go kill a bug, dude.
I don't want to kill the bug. I wouldn't kill the bug. I would usher ourselves inside.
It's one of those
June bugs.
June, yeah, that's why I'm pulling my
big
hair like
fuckers that just run
so
into you.
For being an outdoor person, I am like really bad with like bugs.
Spiders for me is spider. Like,
I have a pink toe tarantula upstairs right now that I just
I have
found this morning. It was super cool.
Me too. And the thing is, what sucks with me, Nicole, is like my mom raised me Buddhist to not kill anything. Like that's how I was raised. So like I can't kill anything. But like last night there was a big spider running through my house and my cat was fucking with it. I'm like, well, gotta smash it because it's like fucking with my cat now.
You know who taught me not to kill spiders is Anton LaVey, the Church of Satan.
Gee, hell yeah, dude.
Really?
It really is, because he was like, I could kill a human being because humans are shit, but I can't kill a spider. I can't kill a spider because I know it's being the best spider.
Oh shit, we haven't ended the podcast yet. Okay, let's do. I thought just because we rated him, like we're done, right? It's done.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we already did raid. All right.
Yeah, we did. I rated during your joke.
Nicole, plug everything you want to plug. Did we do that in the beginning? I'm sorry if we didn't.
Oh yeah, I should probably do that.
Where can people buy stuff from you and support you?
Yeah, so I mean everything is on the website, so kalliasofficial.com.
Okay.
Pretty easy to remember. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. So make sure to follow the band, leave a comment.
Twitch channel as well.
I'm on Twitch. So I'm on Twitch with my full name, Nicole Papastavrou.
Wait, we're one step behind.
I'm not going to type Nicole. Oh shit! I'm clicking right there.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously, yeah. Nicole and Justin are mainstays, and they're going to be the fucking next
and
Twitch
support
stars.
Zenith Passage.
So, like, support fucking.
Yes.
Support Death Metal.
My biggest inspiration.
I love that you guys are together and you're creating separately. And I would love to hear what you finally guys what the fuck am I saying right now? Once you finally put your project together, I'm excited for that. Like a Justin Nicole EP, whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah, we got 5
Carnivorous Horse, maybe in like
yeah, we have 5 songs. They're in hibernation right now.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to hear a terrible name? I came up with a terrible name for you guys just now.
What?
It's instead of Entheos,
June bug killer.
It's instead of Entheos is Enthedos.
Damn. Oh, God. We actually don't have a band name yet.
I think Carnivorous Horse is a good one.
Yeah,
I know. It is.
I mean,
Flush is another one.
Horse flush, dude. Oh my god.
And you guys are just on a ranch right now with all these horses around you.
Yeah, you gotta do horse related material. Like
there's not enough horse related band names out there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck yeah. Love you guys. Thank you guys
so much fun.
See you guys soon in person again. That was really cool to see you. and
yeah. Oh, we didn't even plug our own shit, dude. Cali Death Podcast bigcartel.com. What was I about to say?
Oh yeah,
Cali Death Podcast.
Oh yeah, dude.
Which, first of all, the first shirts I've ever seen in person were these motherfuckers wearing them at Fallujah. That was the
oh yeah, I cut mine up.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. And I was like, what the fuck? It was all like the first time Justin's came up to me. He was like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's up?"
Thank you for putting in like work. You know, like that's the most like custom Cali Death merch.
That's awesome. That looks sick.
That's like, him. Him. Oh, I'm so sorry. Her and Jack Wilson. They got 2 custom pieces. You know, Jack Wilson had it. In the beginning, he was the first one rocking our logo. Yeah, I'm gonna talk through it, dude.
You got this. You got this.
You know what? All right, no, I'm not even gonna keep. I already gave him the shout out twice. Jack Wilson, you had the first piece, dude.
Oh, Jack Wilson, that's right. Yeah,
he had a custom hoodie. He's the only one with a hoodie.
Damn, that's sick.
To this day, he made one himself because we didn't fucking do. That was not a train wreck at all, dude. That was leaning on one track and then I landed back on the other one and I'm good.
Fuck yeah. We just hit 3 hours. Love you guys.
We did it.
Y'all, dude.
We all did this. Yeah, you guys did a full 3 hour one.
5 people back on. Thank you.
And then she started with a fucking wine, like a wine of glass. A wine of glass.
Yeah, look at you. Like, why don't you zoom in on yourself and finish the episode for us, bro?
Like 2 hours and 58 minutes. So
well, she didn't want to be like us, fucking douchebag.
I know.
Well, wine makes me sleepy, so
wine does make me sleepy too.
Oh yeah, we got the closing music.
Oh, this is the live bagging music, dude. Yes. Nobody bought anything because we didn't plug it in the beginning, dude. And we didn't have the professor, dude.
All right, shout out, Professor. Tonight. We love you, Professor.
Shout out to the Professor.
Your family is good. We fucking love you to death.
I love that, dude.
Fun. Anyways, we're going in circles, but we love you guys for the 9th time.
Love you, dude. You guys are sick,
dude. Your hair is beautiful. Hope to see you, dude. Both your guys' hair. Jesus Christ, fucking. I don't want to grow that shit out, but
I can't.
Anthony, do your thing. Anthony, do your thing. You're closing right now.
I don't even know what to say. Buy the shirt if you want to, please. Thank you. And go to our socials, Instagram. So what else we have? Facebook, all that shit. Find out where Joel works. Go say hi to him. And
I know where Joel works.
And go support Nicole, support Justin, stay on Twitch. Tell your friends to come over to Twitch. This is what we're doing over here. We're having fucking parties. And we'll see you next week.